ลื่นเหลือเกิน
Hello everyone, it's Belladova. Today we're going to look at all the brand new mods I've found for The Sims 2 released in this first quarter of 2025, January through March. Yep, this series is continuing on for 2025, so if you missed the goodies shown in the 2024 episodes, check out the full playlist in the description. Also in the description and pinned comment, as always, you'll find a link to a post on my website with all the links to the mods shown in this video. My special interest has actually been The Sims 1 instead for most of this quarter, so I hope to make some content on that soon. That is assuming I don't lose interest and never get into playing after spending months modding and planning and making spreadsheets as I do, but make sure you subscribed if you'd be interested in that as well. Nevertheless, I've still kept up with all the new mods coming out for The Sims 2 for you guys, but do let me know if I've missed anything. We've just seen the hilarious Rod Humble trips on the Sidewalk and Dies mod, now let's take a look at some more. So the first thing you might notice is my game looks a bit different this time, and that is because a new, well, technically G-Shade preset, but I'm using it with Reshade, came out called SubtleSass, and I just fell in love because, in my opinion anyway, it's the first true gameplay preset. It just makes the game more vibrant, but there's none of these strong effects, no obscuring of the UI or anything. Everything's still clear, but the game is just more bright and more vibrant. So let me toggle it off now so you can see the difference. Boom. Look at that, the game looks so much more dull without it, so that just really adds a pop of light and colour, so I really like this. I was thinking about avoiding using Reshade because it can put a bit more pressure on your game, but I thought I'd really like to give it a try with this one, especially because it is so lightweight and simple. So let's get a good look at the Sims faces with it, because I think it really brings out their features as well. So let's motor with it on and I'll turn it off again. So yeah, I just think it makes everything just pop. And what I like about it is, so if I open the configuration menu, oh, it's set for my usual 1440 resolution. This is the only effects it applies, so as you can see, it's not like long, it's not complicated and weighty, it's just got a couple of effects here. And what I did is I just made it only install the specific effects I'd need for this reshade, so there's no unnecessary load that I'm not using. But I also found that I quite like the results of actually turning off some of these as well. Don't get me wrong, I think it looks great as it is, but I think it also looks nice like without the levels. It's a little bit less shadowy. And also either one of these, I think if you turn them off, but it's quite orangey without both of these. But I think with just one, it also looks nice as well, like a little bit warmer than with both of them. So both has got a lot of like white bright light, but I think with just one of the effects on, either one, maybe the Technicolor, I think that just makes it a little bit warmer. So then even with just 3 effects here, it just looks fantastic. So I can really see myself using this preset at all times, with some sort of combination with those effects, whether it as they all are on by default, or with playing with it there. So because I use RPC, because I'm on the Ultimate Collection, Reshade is just so like ridiculously easy to install, and it's so lightweight. It adds so little files to your game and like nothing to your computer, whereas G-Shade's its own program that you can use to manage multiple games. So it's handy if you actually do want to apply it to multiple games. But I just wanted it for the Sims 2, so I like how Reshade's just for a specific game you install it for. Well, of course you can install it for another game as well at the same time, but it's files just attached to a game rather than it being like a program. And also there was a bit of a scandal with G-Shade where there was some dodgy files. So I actually did install it initially, like thinking I had to, and I wanted to check that it really did look the same with G-Shade and Reshade, so I can tell you that for sure. I did install it with G-Shade first, and then I completely uninstalled G-Shade, remembering the whole virus scandal and kind of wishing I never did install it. I'm pretty sure it is completely safe now, but still, it's like, it just shows that the creator is not very trustworthy in my opinion. So I'd personally avoid it, but I've also heard that people have better performance with G-Shade than Reshade, so by all means, give it a go if you want to. But yeah, I just prefer the way Reshade's so easy to install with our PC, so I installed it with that instead, and I can confirm it's identical, and I just love it. So let me toggle it off one more time. Tell me what you think, guys. Do you like this one? There's also been a little update to my usual lighting mod that I always have in Cinema Secret, so I just wanted to have a look at that update as well. So I don't think the daytime as I'm in now is any different, but I believe there's some sort of changes to the dawn, dusk and night light. So let me set the hour to 6 a.m. to get that dawn light. And yeah, that's, I think perhaps the inside lighting has been made a little bit brighter in dawn and dusk. So it is looking good, very moody. Let me turn my reshade off, and that's what it's like without reshade. But yeah, the reshade really makes those colors pop. So now let's try, if I set it to 6 p.m. and then we've got dusk now. Yeah, I believe the inside is a little bit more brighter at dusk now. Let me turn on all the lights. I think someone was saying before the inside rooms were brighter at night than at dusk, even with the lights on. So I think that's where the change mainly is. And it also very vaguely says that there's some changes to the evening light. I don't know what it is. So I mean night light. So let's take a look at that. I'm not sure exactly like what to point out that there's different to before, but I definitely still like it and I think it looks great. So yeah, this is the lighting mod I always use, but it's just had an update. So if you're interested in that, make sure you grab it. I wonder if it also has made some tweaks to the vacation world. It did always bother me that lighting mods don't seem to apply their dawn and dusk lighting in the vacation world. So I wonder if that's been changed. There's something I do want to look at on one of the vacation worlds later, so I'll have a quick peek of that then. But for now, let's move on to some other mods. There's also been a little like edit spin-off version of my usual camera mod, which is it Lowagers? Is that how you say it? Camera mod compilation. Celestial Spirits has made a little edit that fixes the camera sinking to the floor below in free cam mode. So I think, say if I wanted to go to tab on this floor and kind of like moved out, I believe with the original version the camera would have bobbed down to the ground at this point perhaps. So if I'm right, I think that's what has been changed in this version. But Nopke has actually released their camera mod, and all their mods are really high quality, so I'm just gonna hop out of my game for a moment and put in their camera mod and have a little feel, see what the difference is. Maybe I might like to switch to that, but yeah, for now this is an edit of my usual camera mod compilation. The first thing to note is that Nopke's camera just touches 3 of the camera files, whereas the compilation actually provides the whole camera folder, I think, whether the files edited or not. So I'm guessing these ones that are from 2005 are the originals. But as you can see, there's 5 with different dates. So I think this one does cover more of the game cameras than the Nopke's. But I've put all the Maxis ones back in and then swapped out those 3 files for Nopke, so I'm not mixing and matching. So let's go and have a look and feel for Nopke's. So as you can usually expect with camera mods, in neighborhood view you can zoom all the way out, which enables you to place, you know, skylines and skyboxes. It doesn't seem like I can tilt as high, I'm noticing with this one as I could with my other one, because I can barely see my clouds only at this end where the skyline is a bit lower, but the rest, like, I couldn't even be able to see my clouds. So yeah, the tilt up angle isn't as high, I feel like. You can get a complete aerial view and you can zoom in pretty close. So yeah, nothing majorly different. I'm feeling in neighborhood view other than that more restricted tilt angle. I was gonna do this later, but actually no time like the present while I'm back in neighborhood view. As you can see, the neighborhood trees have been default replaced again with the Sims 4 conversion pack. We've had a look at that before, but it's actually had its part 2 release, which you can either download the full updated version or just grab the pack 2. And pack 2 mostly I don't actually think is doing any of these current replacements. That is all from before, but what it covers is the pine trees now. So all of these pines have been updated with much better models from The Sims 4, and I actually think these ones, you know, you could actually download the pack 2 separately and blend with whatever other default replacements you use. Like, for example, I use the linden trees and beautiful birches usually. But to be honest, I'd be quite happy to use these in combination. I think they're a good high quality model. And as well as the pine trees. Oh, there's some more here. Quite a lot of different pine trees actually. Oops. All of these as well. Lots of pine trees. And it also replaces the island trees as well. So the palm trees are much higher quality now too. That might be the same from before. But yeah, now pretty much all of the neighborhood trees are replaced in some way or form, and I just think these pine trees look great, although I do like TDX and Low Edges, more Maxis match ones as well, so I guess I'll have a tough time deciding which ones to go for. But yeah, whether you want the whole Sims 4 replacement pack or just to grab these new ones and mix and match, it's up to you. And I'm sure by now you've caught on to the music playing. It's from The Sims 3. So we've had a little kind of work in progress pack released that adds some tracks from The Sims 3 into The Sims 2. So while you're in neighborhood view, create a sim or build on buy mode, you may hear tracks from The Sims 3 if you want to add those in as well. Back with the goths now. Sorry about that neighborhood view sidetrack. So I've got my camera mod in by Nopke. Yeah, so it feels pretty smooth. The rotation speed is pretty nice. I like how you can get very sharply on the floor. I'm not sure if my other one did that as much, or maybe it did. I'm so like unobservant. I find it kind of hard to like spot the difference sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's feeling good. Let's see how close we can zoom in. Oh, yeah, very close. Let's go in the free cam and zoom in. Oh, that's good. You can get really close and it doesn't like clip through the faces or anything. Oh, hello, Cassandra. Wow, no, that's good. You can get some real attention to detail with that. Zoom right out as well. You can see right to the sky. I think you can get quite a high angle just in the normal camera as well without the tab mode. Like, I can see the sun. I don't have to go in tab mode for that, and I'm pretty sure I did before. I don't think I'd been able to see that high into the sky before, so that's cool. Let's go on a little and walk around. Oh, I don't think the camera seems to like stop more. Well, I guess I need to be in tab mode. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that camera was like stopping a little bit more like harshly at the end of the lot. In this view, I can't. Oh, it's letting me go backwards, but if I go forward, it stops me. That is kind of bizarre. So if I turn this way, I can't like push the camera forward, but I can like continuously push it back. Oh, it stops me there. So yeah, you seem to have a little bit more movement going backwards, but I guess you can just go into tab mode if you want to fly over the neighborhood view a little bit more, which is you know, quite smooth. Yeah. So where am I? I'm lost. So I'm just gonna leave this one in for the rest of the game so I can just get more exposure to it, get more of a feel for it, see if I notice any changes just in through like normal gameplay. But yeah, I feel like I can recommend either Nopke's personal cameras, I think they called it, or the updated lower just compilation. And just to clarify, that edit of it is actually to add in gun mods free cam instead of whichever one the compilation was using before, just to fix that like sinking to the floor below problem, I believe. So yeah, camera mods are very personal preference, so just make sure you get a backup of all the Maxis ones and get some in your game one at a time and play around and see what feels best for you. But yeah, you can zoom in nice and close, and the side to side movement feels very smooth. And I like the rotation speed. I did kind of find the zoomed in close rotation speed a bit slow of the one I was using before. So I actually like that. I'm sorry, I'm probably making you dizzy. I shall stop rapidly spinning around. But yeah, when I just want to like quickly spin around, I'd rather it be fast than slow. So I'm liking that. Maybe I will do a bit of a mix and match for my own game. I'll see. Once again, we're looking at laundry in this series, but this time it's an entirely new mod called Simple Laundry. So this is nothing to do with the Sun and Moon loads of laundry we've looked at in various updates in this series. This is completely standalone, and the idea is it takes a much simpler approach. So I think some people get a little bit overwhelmed with the Sun and Moon laundry set. So let's take a look at the differences. I'm gonna say now that there's no, this one's better than the other. It's gonna be personal preference which one suits you, but I'll point out what things I prefer about this one and the Sun and Moon one. But again, I really believe it's just personal preference. It shouldn't be that only one can exist and one replaces the other for everyone. I'll just do my comparisons and you can decide what suits you better, if any, of course. So like with the Sun and Moon one, the mod won't do anything until you've actually placed something on the lot to do with laundry. So I've got a washer dryer here and a clothesline outside and just a single hamper. So that's the first thing to know, I feel. You can have multiple hampers with this one. Of course, you can have as many as you want. But you only really need one. So with Sun and Moon, because clothing piles will always drop on the floor if there isn't a laundry hamper in the same room. This one doesn't work like that. There just needs to be a hamper on the lot. And the idea is that rather than it being based on like a specific amount of laundry, based on a specific amount of times your Sims get changed or anything like that, it's just time based on the household's personality. So as we can see, Mortimer's is a little on the sloppy side, Cassandra is neat, and Alex is also on the sloppy side, but I wouldn't say any of them are actually sloppy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make Cassandra more extremely neat. I'm going to make Morton bang in the middle, and I'm going to make Alex quite sloppy. So then we've got those three different personalities to see the difference. So if you just kind of want the bare bones of the mod, the idea is that this hamper will just fill up over time based on how sloppy or neat the household is. The sloppier they are, the faster it will fill up, or the faster it will start to smell. So as you hear, you know, when you're getting clothes in the hamper, it'll start to smell, and that's why you'll want to wash it. So that's just the kind of incentive. You don't want the bad environment from this smelly hamper. But there is an optional add-on for clothing piles, like dropping them when they get changed. So I'm going to have them all come inside, because there is an option, which I do have, that if they get changed outside, there won't be a clothing pile. So if they're just changing into their outwear or swimsuit, you don't have to worry about outside clothing piles, which I think is nice. Because I think, I'd imagine, like, if they've gone out to use the pool, you already had the swimsuit under them, and then to put the same clothes back on. So I do think that makes sense. But I do have the optional drop-in clothes on the floor file, which you don't need to have, and I've also tuned mine a little bit. By the way, Teardick has done a long full video on this, so I'm gonna try my best to not ramble for too long, because we've got a lot of mods to look at. So yeah, for a full overview of it, especially the laundromat system, do check out Teardick's brilliant video. But I'm just gonna like put my take on it and do hopefully a short little look at it. So for all of them, I've just queued up a load of interactions to change the clothes by the Gussy Up menu. So I'm going to let that play, and they're all going to change clothes a bunch of times, and we'll see what we get in the way of clothing piles. So let's get all my back in is every day. They've all gone through their entire wardrobe effectively, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 laundry piles. And obviously, there's like 7 outfits, so as you can see, they didn't all make a clothing pile every time. So the mod states that the default behaviour of this dropping clothing piles are that sloppy sims leave a pile 30% of the time if there's no hamper, and 20% if there is one. Neat sims never drop clothes on the floor. Normal sims drop them 10% of the time if there are no hampers only. So we do have a hamper on the lot, so that's going to affect things. But none of these clothes change have gone into this hamper. And that's an important thing to know, because that's a very different behaviour to Sun and Moon's. So I believe the settings I changed it to was that, so there's a setting for how much a hamper reduces the chances by for everyone. So I've put it that hampers reduce the chance by 25%. Base chance for sloppy sims is 100%. So if there was no hamper, a sloppy sim would get a pile 100%, but with the hamper on the lot is 75%. For normal sims it's 50% usually, but with the hamper it'd be 25%. For a neat sim it would be 25% usually, but 0% with a hamper. So we do have a hamper, and that's why there's not that many clothing piles. But what this basically means is that sloppy sims make more washing than neat sims. And personally, I don't get that. I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me, because I feel like a neat sim would have just as much, or if not more, laundry than a sloppy sim, because they would want to keep their clothes cleaner and, you know, put fresh clothes on more often and things like that. So for me personally, I'm not really getting that. But it does mean you get less laundry overall. The way Sun and Moon works is that anytime any sim changes their outfit when they're below about 75%-ish hygiene, then they will make laundry, whether it goes on the floor or automatically goes into the hamper in the same room, provided they're not sloppy. But yet this hamper is still completely empty right now. We've got some clothes on the floor. So when you click on any of these piles now, you've got an option to wash the clothes or put them away. If you don't have a hamper on the lot, but do have this clothing pile file, putting away will just poof it into non-existence, but putting away with a hamper will make, let's have Cassandra do it since she's the neat one, will make them put them all into the hamper. But of course they could just put them straight into the washing machine from here, but since we're not really gonna have time to, you know, just slowly watch the hamper accumulate, let's get the hamper full this way. But otherwise the only way the hamper ever gets full is just over time. Oh. Right. No, she actually did put them in the washing machine, just like stored them in the washing machine to sit. I've just had Alex change clothes 3 times and he's made 2 laundry piles. No, I don't have an interaction for the hamper. So no, it looks like, at least if the washing machine's closed. Put a hamper in this room. And then because there's washing already in the washing machine, maybe if I put them away now, he'll put them in this hamper. Yeah. Okay. So that is put them in that hamper. And what I love so much about these hampers is that they all start empty and will visually fill up as there's laundry in them. Oh my god, I really wish that was in the Sun and Moon set as well. I love that because with Sun and Moon, they can only ever either always look empty or always look full. I really like the way these hampers work. It's beautiful. So yeah, now we can see there is some washing in this hamper. But anyway, so there's clothes waiting in here. Again, it's not a specific amount. It's just laundry. And now without any kind of requirements, we can wash the clothes. Oh, she's gonna get the rest of the clothes from this hamper and add them to it before she turns it on. Cool, to make sure. And oh my god, look. It's animated, you can see the little clothes moving around. And it makes a little subtle whirring noise as it's going. It's not too loud and you can see that it's on with the clothes. These washing machines are beautiful. This simple laundry visually for me is king. I absolutely love all of the models and animations in this one. I think it looks fantastic and I really wish some of these she's not waiting for it, by the way. Like your sim can go off and do whatever she wants while it's running. I've just got autonomy off, so she's standing there like a lemon. But yeah, it will just run away. Your sim can do whatever they like in the meantime, and then it beeps when it's finished, exactly when it's finished, so you know that it's finished. And I love that as well. I've mentioned it when we've looked at the Sun and Moon that I find it kind of hard to know when the washing is done because there's no animation, there's no beep, there's no notification. The sound runs for way longer than the actual cycle runs, so you don't actually know exactly when the wash is finished. So the way that this system works, I love. So we've had a beep, and actually I've got autonomy off, but they're actually quite attracted to sorting it themselves. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hire a maid. Would she come around today or tomorrow now? I don't know what the cutoff is. Oh, not you. I've just hired a maid to show how the maids interact with this autonomously. But I got a male maid and I wanted to show you a default replacement for the female maid outfit, so that's a bit of a bummer, but oh well. So I'm just gonna ignore the maid and have Cassandra dry the clothes. So you can click on the washing machine to dry the clothes, and as far as I'm aware, they'll always use a dryer if there is a dryer. And I think that's what they'll always autonomously do, because like I said, they are quite attracted to just going to deal with it when they know the wash is finished. I think even regardless of personality, but if not, then it's especially neat sims will come and deal with this and dry the clothes right away. So you can, instead, if you want to beat them to it, you can choose whether you want to dry them in the dryer or on the line if you have multiple options. But I guess let's just see what she chooses if I click the washing machine to do that. Yeah, she's popping him in the dryer. Oh, look at those, they're not animations, they're so beautiful. And I didn't mean to have that sped up, I wanted to show you the animation slower. But yeah, the clothes are bobbing away again. So the maid's here now. So let me, I guess, rid of this hamper. I'm gonna make them change clothes a load of times again. So off they go again, changing all of clothes, and the maid is straight on it, picking up after them. So the washing machine is vacant, so I'm pretty sure he's going to yep, he's going to come on, let's have a good look at this stunning animation. There he goes, presses some buttons, twists the knob and sets it going, and that's all he needed to do today. So we've got another wash going, and the dryer's still going, and the dryer's just finished. So again, the Sims would usually be quite keen to get straight on that, but we can just put away laundry, and that doesn't really do anything. It just poofs them into thin air. But with the optional extra files, you can get the effects that Lazy Duchess introduced in their old laundry mod that I asked for. I love how that, you know, it really set up the kind of ecosystem of laundry, but we've come a long way since then. But I'm so glad that this effect is still in use. So as we can see, washing and drying gives every member of the household a comfort and hygiene boost for 70 hours. That's very long. So for 70 hours, hygiene and comfort will decay slower, I believe. That's just a little more incentive to do your laundry. You get a little buff. I'd probably reduce that to just 24 hours and make sure that the decrease isn't too high. But yeah, you can optionally have that if you want to. That also exists in the Sun and Moon, but it works a bit differently with that, a bit more restrictively, I'd say. As far as I'm aware, with the Sun and Moon, it's only if you get a physical clothing pile of washed and dried laundry and a specific sim gets changed using that clothing pile that buff would apply. I don't really like that. I'd prefer it to just be automatically applied when the washing is done, especially because of Gummy and Medusa's work on the putting clothes away dresser clothing count that we looked at. Was that last time? I lose track of when things was released. So yeah, I'd prefer it if it was either just when your sim actually puts clothes away in the dresser, or when a sim actually gets changed using the dresser. I actually think that's a better option. It might already do that, but I don't think so. I think I might actually ask Medusa about that, or if they'd be interested in doing that. I think it'd be cool if, because obviously with the Gussy Up mod and there's some other means to change your clothes, I think a bigger incentive to use your dresser that has that limited account with that add-on. I think it'd be real cool if just using the dress to get changed is what applied those little buffs. But anyway, yeah, so I just want to reiterate that the dropping the clothing pile is completely optional in this mod. So if you don't want to get overwhelmed with laundry, you don't need to have that, and the hamper, even if you've just got one, will just fill up over time. I'm not sure if having multiple hampers on the lot makes each one fill more slowly. I'm not sure how that works, but it's just time-based based on personality with the hampers filling up, and having the changing clothes pile option basically just makes more laundry, whereas in Sun and Moon it's part of the same system. So making laundry in the Sun and Moon depends on every sim's hygiene, because if you're taking your clothes off when you're not full hygiene, you know, you're probably not going to put those same clothes on again, so it makes a washing pile. Whether or not it goes on the floor or in a hamper depends on the sim's personality and the presence of hampers. So a neat sim in the same room as a hamper would always have their laundry automatically go in the hamper, whereas a sloppy sim, even if a hamper's there or not, would always drop it on the floor. But for any sim, if there's no hamper there, it's going on the floor. So the same amount of laundry is always made. It just depends on their personality, whether it's going on the floor or automatically in the hamper. Whereas this one, the ones that are on the floor have nothing to do within the hamper, as far as I'm understanding. It's a completely different system. And the ones on the floor are extra. And it's just like sloppy sims are making you extra work if you want that. But personally, I think it makes sense that when you're not fresh and you're changing your clothes, it's going in the wash, whether you can put that in the hamper or not. It's just a literal amount of washing, and I like that numerical system a lot better. personally. I also like how laundry in Sun and Moon is an actual physical thing that will go in your Sims inventory, and that makes laundromats even more realistic because Sims actually have this specific amount of laundry in the inventory that if they don't have the means to wash it at home, they can go and take to a laundromat. Laundromats do work in this mod, but it's just more like imagination based. There's no real washing that your Sims are going to take to be washed. It's just like something to do, and I guess apply that buff if you've got it. But other than that, there's not actually a real purpose of it, I have to say. So in terms of the way it works, I have to say I still prefer Sun and Moon system. It makes so much more sense to me. You know, the amount of laundry is based on hygiene and it's just piles, or in the hamper based on personality, and there's a literal, a physical, a specific amount. I just prefer that. But the visuals of this mod, oh my god. They're just so beautiful. It's mostly Sims 4 conversions. Everything you need is in the miscellaneous plumbing section. So there's a lot of different washer and dryer options. There's actually been some more additional ones released on top of the main mod that you can download separately. Same with the hampers. There's like an extra pack you can get. Like I said, I love how the hampers start empty and get full. They're all front loaders because that's the way the animation works. Whereas in Sun and Moon, the animation's not as specific. It's not, you know, it's not as like detailed and accurate. So whether it's front loader or top loader, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I personally have only ever seen front loaders in real life. I swear they're just not really a thing or never were in the UK. So it doesn't bother me that they're all front loaders, and I'd happily have that in Sun and Moon as well. Like if it had to be to get a better animation, they'd all be front loaders, so be it. I think that's well worth it. But yeah, all you need is a washing machine and either a dryer or a clothing line, which we do have outside. But notice there's no indoor clothing rack, and I don't know about you guys, but that's the main way I get my clothes dry in real life, is an indoor clothes horse, clothes area, whatever you call them. So I think that would be a great addition to this. And some other things in here, but we'll just take a look at those in a moment. I'm just going to wait for this wash to finish so we can put them on the line. Okay, the washing machine beep. So I'm not going to use that to dry the clothes because she'll put it in the dryer, which you don't need to have, of course. But if I click the clothesline, I like how you can actually click this anywhere. The drying lines in Sun and Moons are a bit tricky to actually like click on the right place to dry, but I can easily click on that to dry clothes, and then she'll take it to the line to dry, which will take longer, but I'm not sure there's actually like a benefit, I guess, just for space if you don't have the space for a dryer. But I think it would be cool if it was integrated with Similanity's utility mod. And I guess the same goes for Sun and Moon, really. That, you know, the drying your clothes like this would cost less on your utility bill. Well, the dryer would add to your utility bill more. I think that would be fantastic integration. Another thing to note is that there are currently no trait support for this mod, whereas it is for Sun and Moon, but I can really see that being added soon, so keep an eye. I'm sure, I just really feel like someone will add trait support to the simple laundry, so I wouldn't say that's a reason to rule it out. I just really feel like that'll come. But yeah, right now there is no trait support of any kind. Now, about these other things in this folder, these are from another mod by Lamar that integrates with this one, but you don't have to have both at the same time. You can have either or, but they do work together if you want them to. So here we've got a lot of little what would be decorative bottles, but what they are cleaning supplies. Some are household cleaning supplies and some are like beauty cleaning supplies. So the idea here is that if you have at least one household cleaning supplies and personal cleaning supplies, you'll get a benefit. So I could have this detergent here. It's not specific to this, but you can imagine that it is. And or you could have this bottle of washing up liquid in the kitchen. And what that will do is just having at least one of these present on the lot, you can't do anything with them, but it will make cleaning interactions faster. By the way, I'm pretty sure you can just wash clothes without any washing actually existing on the lot. Like, some will just poof from thin air. So she set the washing machine going. And that detergent disappeared, I guess because it got all used up. So I'm surprised it's just one use actually, but that is what happens when it's being used up. So you can't see the count of it, but doing washing interactions will reduce the count that these bottles store. So now that's gone, we're just relying on this one. You can then just get a new detergent bottle. I think it will only ever use the same one until it runs out, kind of thing. It's not like they all go down at the same time. But now we've got this one in the kitchen only. So let's maybe get a gelatin out of the fridge and then wash it up. So if I clean this up now, I mean, by default, washing pots is very fast anyway, but in theory this will have made that happen faster. I think also if I even just clean appliances, that will be done faster if you've got some product like this on the lot. So I'm hoping this is going down right now. I'm not actually sure, but I guess I'll cleaning things and see if it goes down. Well, just disappears is what would happen. I actually usually use a mod by Saline that does make cleaning take longer if you don't have skills in it, so there's actually more incentive to level your cleaning skill. So I guess that wouldn't be compatible, which is a shame. But yeah, I guess things just will go along faster with the... Oh, that washing already finished. I didn't hear it beep. But yeah, it will be faster to run these machines if you've got a kind of household cleaning product on the lot. It's still not going anywhere. And there we go, the dryer already finished. Yeah, that was definitely faster. I've been having Cassandra clean stuff in the kitchen a bunch of times and we've still got this washing up liquid. If I pluck laundry out of the net, wash will that? Maybe that's like a bigger fault. This one just does not seem to be going down at all. Like, I'm seeing the faster effect of the washing machines at least. Cleaning interactions are very fast anyway. But yeah, I feel like we've done a lot of stuff and this is still here, whereas the detergent bottle disappeared after one use. So unless did it like... No, I wonder if it had like sunk into the ground or something. I'm not sure. This one just kind of seems indestructible, but the idea is that would go down eventually from doing cleaning and disappear. So you'd have to get something new if you want it to be faster. Let me get more light again. And I'll look at the bathing products now. So I've gone and bought this toiletry set and pushed Mortimer's hygiene down to about half. So if I take a shower now, it will be full, and these will have technically gone down. You won't be able to tell until you've had loads of showers. If I actually get rid of them and then do it again, he won't fill his hygiene. So you've just got some incentive to have these realistic toiletries and cleaning supplies present on the lot to give you that bonus. So without toiletries somewhere, when Sims clean themselves, they won't max the hygiene. But if you have, so there's this set and there's just these little bottles here. Then if you have a shower with them, they will max their hygiene. So that's the idea there. Bit of immersion. The toiletry thing is very cool. And I wonder if you could have that just standalone. I'd like that actually. If you could just have the bathing supplies system, because unless the household cleaners were made compatible with similar 90s cleaning mods that make them take longer, I'd rather have similar 90s. But as far as it being related to laundry, I prefer Sun and Moon system where detergent is required. Although I must say, with Sun and Moons, I really wish it wasn't stocked into the washing machine because that's not realistic. I wish, like this, the bottle just needed to be present on the lot and it would decrease over time. And honestly, ideally, rather than it just vanishing, I'd prefer if you got a pop-up, very similar, exactly like how Gummies pet food box works. So with that, you have to have a pet food box on the lot to be able to feed your pets. When you do feed your pets, this box goes down. Then when it's empty, you get a pop-up informing you that it's run out, and you actually do have to go into the catalogue, delete it, and buy a new one. But what would be even better is to work like Medusa's catnip replace mod, where you could just click the item and the sim could replace it themselves, bin the old one, and purchase a new one in its place. So that is how I wish Sun and Moon's laundry system worked. You had a bottle of detergent on the lot that would go down. You could have it nicely looking on top of your washing machine and it would deplete after each use, and then it would tell you when it's empty and you wouldn't be able to do your washing until you click on it to replace it and buy a new one. So yeah, there isn't a perfect laundry mod in my opinion. They both have merits. Visually, like I said, simple laundry is fantastic, but functionally, while the cleaning supplies does add a little bit of like immersion and challenge, I much prefer the Sun and Moon system. It's much more logical, immersive, challenging, but personally I don't think it's overwhelming. It's just realistic. Oh look, one of my drops his clothes on the floor in here. So yeah, it does work when they change clothes from the shower as well. It doesn't have to be just changing on the spot or with a dresser. But yes, I think I've rambled for long enough. Let's move on. Oh, actually, I just wanted to say that you don't even have to dry clothes unless you actually have a dryer or a washing line. So you'd just be able to put them straight away from the washing machine and there's no penalty for them not being dry. Whereas I like how Sun and Moons actually has a wet pile of laundry you can't do anything with other than dry. But of course, with the decay bonus add-on, there's a bit of incentive there for drying it. And I also want to say that there's an optional file which I didn't have in this, that you can wash clothes in the sink. So if you get a hamper but don't have a washing machine, then Sims can wash the clothes in a sink. And I think that would be suitable for medieval gameplay because I'm sure you've got some CC medieval-y sinks that would be quite realistic to wash the clothes in that way. So it does cover that style of gameplay, but of course it's more geared toward modern games, whereas the Sun Moons is very heavily, it supports medieval style gameplay, but I think it's fantastic for modern games as well. But Sun and Moons, it is more complicated to install because you need bits and pieces from various other mods in the Sun Moon system if you actually want it all, and like understanding, okay, this is a modern stuff, this is a medieval stuff, what do I actually want, what do I need to make this medievally thing work so it doesn't flash blue. It's a little bit more of a journey getting that set up right for you, whereas this is extremely easily to install because you can just get the download everything. You can pick and choose what you want, of course, but the best thing to do, I think anyway, is to download the everything, and then if there's any files you don't want, for example, I deleted the sync file, then you can just do that. And here are the additional sets. So these 5 hampers came from an extra set, and these 2 and these laundromat style washing machines were an extra set as well. So you can make sure you grab them as well. But there is lots of options, beautiful options in the base set. So I mentioned the simple laundry, unfortunately not having trait support. Now let's look at a whopping 5 mods to do with literal traits. Token traits, not even the effects of them. This quarter has been crazy for new traits mod. So now in my collections, in my traits collection, it looks very different and it's a whole whole lot bigger. So Firstly, the 3 to 2 traits have been replaced with icons from The Sims 4 by Atom Tand, as well as the Catch You on the Flippity Flop set as well. They've all had their icons replaced, and there's some new ones in this set as well. So we've got Loves the Rain, which is new. So some just kind of opposites and just complementary to the set. Maximalist is new, which is meant to be like the opposite of minimalist. We have Early Bird, and this is a trait I had been meaning to make myself. I still might, because the way I was planning on doing this little icon would be in the Sims 3 style, so I still actually might release a Sims 3 style version of the trait. Maybe I could use the same GUID or something, but I literally made the graphic, I just haven't shared it. I didn't like to share the trait without a mod to make it do something, but actually there's now a whole hell of a load of traits that exist that don't have a mod making them do anything, so I guess I could join that party. Obviously when you're very used to the Sims 3 traits, it can be kind of harder to find what you're looking for. Some have also had their names changed optionally, but I can't find an example of that. There's just so many. But yeah, if you like the Sims 4 style icons, then this replacement might be for you, and it's optional whether you want some of the renames, whether you want the additions, but I think the additions are very good. They also cover a load of the popular other like traits, like the no jealousy one, and these local traits, and I think all the way back here we've got some for the other like occult traits and the prisoner tag, but as you can see there's a lot more. So a set for the medieval traits has also been added, that haven't been made before. So I think some of the medieval ones, you know, are quite unique and could have some interesting effects for them. As well as this, with this collection file replacement, you can also have the colour traits inside here rather than needing a separate one. And then these are a set of sub-hobby traits. So you could give your Sims these based on what you think their sub-hobby is, whether it's just a way to jog your memory rather than writing it in a spreadsheet or a notebook or something. Or, you know, maybe one day these do something, like someone with the woodworking trait would make wood projects faster on the custom woodworking table. And then we've got all of the traits from The Sims 4 converted as well. Currently no mods for any of these to make them do anything unique. They're just a token at the moment. Even the reward traits and things, and the infant, is it infant or toddler traits, whatever it is. And then we've also got a pack of occult traits as well. Again, nothing to make them do anything, but they're there if anyone wants to do anything with them. My rule of thumb with the Sims 3 ones, I don't install a trait until I have a mod that makes them do something. I don't like non-functional traits personally, but now these are just open in the modding community, so any creator at any point can make a mod to make any of these do something functional in your game, so I'll be keeping my eye out from those. So if someone makes a mod specific to the Sims 4 cheerful trait or the bro trait, then I would grab those specifically. But yeah, for now it's cool that they're laid out on the table and the option is there. But if you like just having them visually, or to just, like I said, just for your own mind to categorize your Sims, then maybe you'd be interested in all of these already to do whatever you see fit with. So yeah, there's lots of options there. So yeah, I've just sent them all jump roping, and as you can see, Cassandra has just changed into her athletic wear to jump rope, which is a new mod that kind of, well, no, it's not a new mod, it's an update of a mod that was to change it into athletic wear to jump rope, but it's been updated to support the colour traits, so the skipping rope will be in the colour of the favourite colour, as Epi did. And then I also asked, I think it would be more realistic if the athletic wear part only applied to adults, but children still changed in there every day, because I see skipping for children as more of a playing thing, whereas it's more of a full-on exercise for adults. So now with this flavour, see the adults, well, adult and elder, have changed into the athletic wear, but Alex stays in his everyday because he's just a kid and he's just playing with his skipping rope. And their skipping ropes are their favourite colour. So Cassandra's is black, Alex's is grey, and Mortimer's is red because they're the favourite colours I gave them. So yeah, you can just really have the best of all three there, I think. And now I've had them stop, we've got a new headline effect for the fitness enthusiasm gain in Sims 4 style. So we'll just take a look at that mod now that changes some of the headline effects to be converted from Sims 4. So if I have these chat now, I'll come and figure it out. There we go, the relation gain interaction is also different now from the Sims 4 again. Well, not as like the specific thing from Sims 4, it's just the icons are. So as well as the hobby, enthusiasm and relationship gain, the mod also covers the badge gaining icons and the university major gaining icons as well. So yeah, they look pretty nice, pretty cool. So if that's your kind of aesthetic, then grab those. I've just grabbed on to look at our next mod, which adds trait logic for the brag interaction. So Cassandra doesn't have any personality traits at the moment, and as you can see, she can brag to Mortimer as their relationship's not fantastic, but she has a really high relationship with Don, and therefore she doesn't have the option to brag to him. However, with this mod, Sims with certain 3-2 traits, oh god, I need to find them in the new icons, will still be able to brag. So it's the diva or snob, mean-spirited or evil traits. To be honest, I don't see bragging as evil at all. There's probably some of the Sims 4 or Catch You on the Flippity Flop that might be a little bit better suited. I'd say maybe the materialistic trait would be a good one for this one instead. But if I make Cassandra a snob by giving her that trait, now when I click to talk to Dawn, she can indeed brag to him. It doesn't matter that their relationship is really high. And to be honest, I don't see why not, because Sims often, don't really see bragging as a negative interaction anyway. So yeah, if you just want more logic around the bragging and for certain Sims to be able to do it regardless of relationship level, then yeah, grab that one. I've now grabbed the Goths a computer to look at the new chat menu by age mod. So now when you go to chat with the Sims are categorized by children and adults, also now teenagers. So there was already a mod that separates children and adults and kept the teenagers, I think, in the adult menu, but now this one breaks it down further. However, it does just show the Sims first names, and there was a separate mod that made it so the Sims full name would show first and last, and also a compatibility with that child computer chat menu and the full name, so you could have the child menu and full name. So I'd really like it if this mod could also be updated to be compatible or add the same effect as that, to be able to have all the Sims full name, because sometimes you can have multiple Sims with the same first name. So I think it would be a lot more helpful to be able to see the Sims in a full name. So I might drop a message to Gummy with that, but still I think it's cool to easily be able to see what teens are available as well as children. So if Alex was doing it, he can make sure he's only chatting to children, and then adults are only getting to know like-minded adults and things like that. Oh, apparently elders will also be in their own separate category, but there's just no elders online right now. But yeah, rather than elders being with the adults, they will also have their own menu, which is great. Yeah. We now have this custom chocolate factory making machine that makes different kinds of chocolate. So when you click on it, you can make different kinds of chocolates and choose who makes it. You can also set up automatic production, but let's just try having Cassandra make some milk chocolates. Oh wow, she's already got 7. Does this just go on forever, or is there a stopping point? Yeah, I think it just goes on until you stop them. She's got 30 boxes of chocolates in her inventory right now. Let's get some light. So we've got these Belgian chocolates here, and you can eat the chocolates. And I think different chocolates have different effects. I think the milk ones are just nothing. That, you know, they're just a hunger gain. But I think some of the other ones have full effects. It takes them a while to eat them. There we go, and then she's gonna bin them, but that's all the way downstairs, so please do not do that. So now if I make... Oh, why can't Cassandra make them? Oh, is it skill-based? Perhaps. Right, okay. Let's have Mortimer come up here and do it, because he's got 9 cooking skills. He can make all the different kinds of chocolates, I believe. But, oh, shut up, Alex. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. But yeah, Cassandra can only make the milk ones because she's not that skilled. So let's have Mortimer make a few ginger chocolates this time. That's already enough. So he's already got 2 here now. And now we've got some Belgian ginger chocolates. And now we budget hunger down and some other needs. And now if he eats these ginger chocolates, what's special about these is, as well as the hunger game, ginger chocolates gain energy. And some of the other ones have different effects, like dark increases on, min increases comfort, and I think the extra dark gives like a love potion effect. So let's try this automated production. Let's make some mint chocolates. Oh yeah, just block your own way, Mortimer, genius. Automated production, set production, mint chocolates. Oh, maybe that's for like a community lot, I think. So I think what that's for is if you're on like an owned business or something and you've got employees, you can choose what's going to be produced, and then you can assign a worker to it, and then that's how you choose what chocolates are going to be made, which is cool. So yeah, if you want to make like a chocolate factory or chocolate shop, you could use it and get all different kinds of chocolates with special effects. I've now made Mortimer a vampire, and obviously out in the sun he is, you know, burning and reacting badly. But there's now a functional umbrella stand that can be used to protect vampires from the sun. So if I remove an umbrella, I guess, from the basket and give it him, and then cover his needs stop depleting. And what this is actually doing is it's dynamically applying Medusa's sunlight immunity for vampires trait. So now if I uncover him, it's gone. And then he will stop burning again. Yep, so I just get him to cover himself. Then his knees will stop decaying because he gets the immunity trait. So if you want your vampires to be able to go out in the sun, but don't want to just, you know, find it cheaty that they're always up and about fine, and you actually want the requirement of this umbrella, then that's good. And you can probably see that his fangs are fine, because of a new fix. You know, can we see you, please? Show us your fangs. Hey, Mona, show us your fangs. Does anyone else know Mona the vampire? I just want to see his fangs. How can I make him do that? Oh, I did it on here. Yeah, I don't know where you'd usually see it, but there's a very common bug with vampire fangs that make them flash blue, and there's been a fix before, but apparently it doesn't always work for everyone. So now there's an alternate one that works differently, and that should fix that flashing blue fang problem for good. I've now got some additional Sims from around the neighbourhood and made them all werewolves, so they're about to transform. Wow, that's loud. I thought the men's hair would be different to the way they are, but as you can see, they all look different because the werewolf overlay is now based on their hair color and I'm pretty sure skin color. So as you can see, Darren has got dark skin and black hair, so his fur and his skin are really dark. And Cassandra's is pretty dark, but her skin isn't as dark as Darren's, I'm pretty sure, because her skin isn't usually. Daniel's face is red because of his red hair, but yeah, his hair's not looking right, so I don't know if I've done something wrong or there's just something not quite working there. Dina's fur is blonde because she's blonde haired, and his fur is grey because he's got grey hair, but again, I don't know what's going on with this hair. The women are correctly keeping their normal hair, as I think the mod intends, but looking at the pictures, yeah, it looks like men do get like the werewolf hair, but it's supposed to be in their colour still, whereas they've all got it brown. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, so if you want your werewolf fur to be correlated with their skin and hair color in a very Maxis Smash way, then I think this is fantastic. And lastly, with the goths and the supernatural theme, I've got Don over, who's not a werewolf, and I've got this Elixir of Life, no, Elixir of Zombie, which is a new custom item that Sims can drink to turn Sims into zombies. So Sims can drink it themselves, or they can make somebody else drink it. So I'll have Cassandra command Don to drink it, and then now he's gonna pour himself a glass and drink it up. Oh, choke on it. And maybe it's because it. Oh, he did become a zombie anyway. No matter. So there we go. Yeah, Don's a zombie. Yeah, and he's gonna do the zombie walk and everything. So yeah, if you want a quick and easy way to get zombies, then grab the Elixir of Zombie. I'm thinking, obviously I have a default skin and that's what I've done. So zombie skin's looking good. I wonder if that's conflicting with the werewolves somehow. I don't know. If you know why my male werewolf hair is looking like that, please tell me. We'll move on to torment another household in a moment, but just before we do, I just wanted you to notice how this terrain pin is looking nicer than usual, and that is a default replacement for this dirt cloud. So if I spread it around here, it's looking much better than Maxis. It's not stunning, really closely zoomed in, but it's definitely higher quality than the Maxis one was. So yeah, I just noticed that under the tree here. So I just wanted to point it out before looking at anything else. We're here with Don now as his normal self. Forget any of that supernatural stuff ever happened. And look at this terrain paint on his lot is also looking better because in that same file as the Dirt Cloud default replacement, it also has a file for the part bark. And that makes that looks much nicer as well, but very Maxis match, and that is what I am loving about these retextures by Soriton, because they are extremely true. Oh, that's not covered, but we've looked at it before. The same author did make a default replacement for the soil that looks so much better, but I don't have it in this folder. It's this one and this one, and also as a separate file, this pavement has also been default placed as well, but again pretty true to the Maxis style. I don't think it had the, you know, squares, the tiled effect, but the, you know, colour and kind of grain and everything is very similar. So I was like, this is another Maxis one, so you can see how much higher quality they are. But the same author has also default replaced this one. Again, I just don't have it in right now. But yeah, they are my favourite terrain default replacements, so I highly recommend those. So we now have this new mod object in form of a grindstone. You can change it to a little doormat if you want, otherwise it's a grindstone for now. And this is a Townie Ager. So finally, there is a way to automatically age up your non-playable Sims, Townies, and NPCs. So, firstly, there's actually a shift click option, and there's some more options here. So I've just done that. And what you can do is to randomize the ages that they are. So the start of a neighborhood, every townie is like adult townie is like fresh into adulthood. So the first thing you could do is to randomize that so that they are at different stages along their lifespan. It looks like you can also set them to get in gold aspiration for the birthday or also when they die, so they age up well instead of always badly if you want. But I'll just randomise the ages. That's done. So now you can turn auto aging on, and then I think every day, I don't know if it's 11 or midnight, they'll just automatically age, or you can do it manually. So if I do this now, it's an interaction Don has to do, and it takes a little minute to process. Right, so Derek here has come onto the lot because he needs to have a birthday. So anytime a sim needs to actually grow up into the next life stage or die, they will come to this slot. Otherwise, you know, if it's just adding a day, then that just happens in the background. But there we go. So so Derek is now aged up, and that's all we need to do. So I'll just get rid of him and clear the weather. So of course, usually you just do this once a day or have it done automatically, but I'm just going to have it do again. See what happens this time. So, Don's just processing that away. Just takes a little bit of his time. And there we go, that's all. Do it again. I'm hoping that someone is going to need to die, so I'm just going to keep doing it until we come across that scenario. Happened immediately when I first tested it, of course, it did. Yeah, again, no big birthdays or deaths. I'm not sure what happened. Obviously she was on the lot, so I wonder what happened. Yeah, again, no big birthdays or deaths. Let's go again. It actually freezes down in frame. Again. It's just typical, isn't it? When you try to show something, it just doesn't happen. Okay, and Gypsy Mac Maker, see, even though I specifically downloaded a mod to stop it coming. Cool. Okay, so I guess it's been, I've done it 7 times now, so all the children, I guess, stayed at the same age, because like all the children are here to age up. Literally every child in the whole hood has turned up to become a teenager. And they've just walked off the lot themselves. I do wonder, I don't have an aspiration fix in now, but I guess it just assigns them an aspiration based on their zodiac. We've just teleported Marsha, who was a child. Right, yeah, she still has the grow up aspiration. But I believe with a separate fix that exists, that would be fine. I don't think it's specific to this mod. It's just any case that a townie grows up that they don't get an aspiration. But there's a separate mod that sorts that. I was just curious. It's starting to feel like the randomization didn't work. I'm gonna try that again. Right. Okay. So a few NPCs in this case. Well, I think Sarah's technically a townie, isn't she? I think that's a garden club member, and we've got a nanny and a repairman here that need to die. But there is an issue with this mod that says occasionally happens, but in my testing it's every time. So these are all supposed to die, but more often than not, what seems to happen is that their age actually just gets reset to like the beginning of the elder life stage. Oh my god, no, she's actually dying. But yes, another like kind of obvious caveat is that anyone on the lot is going to react to this death. So on the lot you do it on, yeah, so they're actually all dying, so that's interesting. So when I initially tested it outside of recording, Sims, after randomizing it, Sims were dying like on the first day and the second day. It just took me a while to get this, and then they were just getting stuck and getting reset. And the mod page just says it's a known bug that occasionally happens. But yeah, they all work this time. And of course, you've got the gravestone still with, and you can move it. But Don does remember them all dying. So what I would suggest, if you were using this, is instead of actually using it for one of your playables, I'd make a new sim or make a townie playable on a separate lot that's basically a residential graveyard, and just use them to just do this manually rather than having it like on real playables. On the first one you're doing a rotation, have it automatic, and then everything happen on their lot, because I mean obviously you can delete these memories and things, but it takes up their time and their memories and things, so I think it's better to not actually use one of your real playables for it. And I'm gonna be honest, this is something I have wished existed for the longest time, but have you ever found, when you get something that you wish for, you realise you're actually better off without it? Because that's how I kind of feel about this mod. Very recently I've come up with a very good way of manually managing my townies. I kind of prefer that. It was a bit of a chore, and I do it in batches, so I have like every so many days, so many rotations really, rather than it actually being like the age a day every day and their ages were randomized and things. I suppose you could use it just to randomize their age, if nothing else. That's a pretty cool idea actually. But yeah, what I had like a graveyard lot, and I'd move a townie into it, and I'd just do it manually. I'd age them, I'd set their careers, I'd make more children. So what I would do is any adult females with the family aspiration, I would have them in most cases get married, but definitely have a child with whichever male they're closest to. So with ACR, sometimes they actually made their own kind of relationships, or at least good friendships. So or have good chemistry with someone, so they'd usually be a good candidate for them to actually have a real genetic baby with, that I'd then age up to a child immediately and then make that child a townie. So I would get genetic fresh townies rather than having to manually or automatically generate random new ones. They would actually be the offspring of the townies, and I kind of really liked doing that. It made everything feel connected. But that was always the actual townies, so I think if this could perhaps separate this so you could just age the NPCs, then that might be good, because I only ever aged and killed off the NPCs to generate new ones, so you'd see some fresh faces every now and again. It wasn't always the same mate through 6 generations and things like that. Whereas I could keep manually managing my townies. I've actually thought about making all the townies playable in my next playthrough. The pre-made ones, like the actual Pleasant View pool or Veronival pool, whatever it might be, and don't allow random ones to be generated. But still, yeah, I feel like if I had actual townies, I'd still prefer to manage them and have them form relationships and specific jobs and have genetic offspring to make new child townies. So I'd kind of prefer if there was more options and you can just do it for NPCs. But either way, it's very cool that this exists now. Yeah, I just kind of thought I'd be more like satisfied, and it's nothing against this mod, it's just because I finally found a way to do it manually. After all this time of wishing it just happened or there was a way to do it, I found my own way, and now I like my own way. But yeah, I think I would have this in my downloads folder, but I probably wouldn't have the auto aging on, and I'm not sure I'd even use it to age townies or NPCs, at least if they're in this joined category. Or if I did, it would be, like I said, on a separate lot with a townie I don't care about, not a real part of my rotation. And I'd probably use the randomized age functionality. I think that's pretty cool. Let me know, guys, what you think. I certainly think it's much better than having a forever young townies than ever age. So yeah, it's really awesome that this exists now. We now have this kind of Sims 1 conversion for the entertainment cake. So I can have Dawn now hire a female entertainer. You can choose whether you want a female or male. But there we go. We've hired a female entertainer and she's come and danced for us. We can pay her to dance, I guess, if she stops. We can... And you can actually, you know, flirt with them. Yeah, she literally is known now, and it's just a new NPC, really. Bunny the Dance. So I actually don't have ACR fully installed. I've only got like the main file, so I don't even think I'd be able to like ACR it. But yeah, you could like get to know the dancer. And if you had casual romance, I guess you could quite quickly, you know, be intimate with them. I wonder if more flirt interactions will become available or if it's limited. Okay, so because I'm having to work with the Maxis romance system here, I don't have romantic standards or casual romance or anything like that. I've cheated the relationship a bit higher, and now, yeah, there's a lot more flirt interactions. So yeah, you could really hire and entertaining, you know. So yeah, I think it's a great fun item to put on. You can also cheer at the cake. I was just cleaning it up. Once you're done with it, you can't hire a dancer twice. We now have this functional shot glass holder from Jackie 93 Sim. So Don can serve shots with it, and then they're all funky colours, and can choose which specific shot he has. Let's drink Clouds. And he'll take a shot. I don't know if they have different effects or anything like that. I think it perhaps just increases fun. And I guess they're like plastic shot glasses, so he just bends it when he's done. They increase fun and comfort but decrease bladder, so we'll drink Werewolf. Looks like the same shot is still available to drink after you've drunk it. So I don't know when it'll run out. I guess it does at some point. Yeah, now he's had them all, so I think it's 6 servings, but you can say them multiple of the same one. And then it empties and you can save it again, or you can just clean it up. I think it will spoil after some time as well. So yeah, that's a cool item to have parties. Dawn's just cooked up some burnt mac and cheese to take a look at the mod Eat Faster from a Bowl. Which yeah, just makes Sims eat faster from a bowl. I don't know if it's specific to the slab interaction of like eating quickly. So yeah, it just affects the sloppy eating, like shoveling it in interaction, not just the civilized eating. So each one of those shoveling it in, because they look like they do it several times in that like animation cycle, it counts for more bites rather than one, because previously that looks like Sims are eating faster was actually slower than eating it like a normal person, so that just makes that make more sense. I'm wondering how that's done, because I've actually got a work in progress mod. Well, I was using in my game. I guess the documentation stuff was holding me back. But I did make food just generally be eaten faster, or at least in a more balanced way. But that was more about how much hunger points get filled by cycle to make them all the same for each type of food. So more filling foods would still take longer to eat, but just each like eating cycle would be faster. So I wonder if that conflicts with that or not. I'm not sure. In a similar way, by I believe the same author, we've got Eat Chinese Food Fast as Lightning, which makes the previously extremely long time it took to eat Chinese food way faster, as we've just seen there. It's not the first mod of its kind. Similar 90 also had a fix that. I'd actually consider it a fix, because it used to take like insanely long to eat Chinese food, like way faster than any other food. So it just makes it faster. I think this might actually be even faster than Similar 90's fix, but perhaps the mod author perhaps just didn't realise that existed, or maybe they're done in slightly different ways. I'm not sure, but that's another alternative for eating Chinese food faster instead of ridiculously slow. For our next mod, now when I click Don's self menu, he has a call option and can call as if he has a cell phone, but he doesn't. This mod makes cell phones always available, like they're not a real thing that has to exist. You simply don't have to buy them. You can just always like use a cell phone to call someone. So I'm gonna have Don call a taxi. And there we go, you could see he pulled the phone out, but he still doesn't actually have one. Just catch him in the act here. Even, you know, he's got it there, but yeah, he doesn't actually have one. So the taxi's here, and we've got this gorgeous default replacement for the taxi by Jackie93 Sims. It's like a bit more New York style in the design. It's got lovely clear glass. We can really see the driver in it. It's got a cute little thingy bobby on top rather than the big one that went the other way, and just some really lovely designs. But there's actually been 2 taxi defaults. Oh, I'm going up. There's been 2 taxi defaults released this quarter, so I will save it here and hop out my game and put the other one in so we can compare the difference, and you'll be able to choose which one you prefer. But I'm really loving this one. So here we are with the other taxi default in, and this time it's Vegan Cactus version 2. So a long while ago, Vegan Cactus made their first taxi default replacement, which is the one I would ordinarily use before these two being released. But this has been released as a separate V2, actually inspired by Jackie93 Sims, but more Maxis match style. So it's the clear glass has been applied to this one, inspired by the one we've just looked at, but it keeps the overall look of the taxi more Maxis match, and obviously this big triangle's the same, but the texture on it is I think a bit high quality, and this knife is actually straight. It was very wonky before. So yeah, if you like a more Maxis match style, then this might be the choice, but Jackie 93 Sims is a lovely choice as well. I don't think you could go wrong with either of them. They're both lovely. But I will say with this one, it applies the similar changes to the vacation taxis, whereas I'm pretty sure Jackie 93 Sims one is only this yellow taxi and doesn't touch them. So I will have a look at those later to confirm that. But if you want consistency across this taxi and the vacation HUD ones, then you'll probably just want this one. If you're not bothered about the vacation ones, then just Jackie 93 Sims is fine. Or what you could do if you do want Jackie 93s for this yellow taxi but vegan changes to be applied to the vacation ones, I'm sure you could probably have both with Jackie 93 Sims loading later. I imagine that would make vegan cactuses changes apply to the vacation ones, but Jackie 93 Sims apply to these yellow ones. But let's whisk down to the community lot. Okay, he's refusing to go in. I guess the taxi like glitched out with changing the taxi. Okay. I don't think that's anything to do with the textures. It's probably just because I saved the lot with them on and then made a change about the taxi. So yeah, I'll get a new taxi. So here's on arriving, and we've got a couple of things to look at on this community lot, which I've edited a bit. So where to start? Let's get some clothes. I think is a good place to start, and that is because we're looking at the mod cheaper clothes. This is another thing that I wish for a long time. Maxis clothes are very expensive. It's like 200 smalls is an item. This mod simply makes that cheaper. So if I grab on a new outfit, there we go. This is just going to cost 75 simoleons for a new everyday outfit, rather than, I'm pretty sure it was 200 or at least 100. I think it says on the mod page. Yes, it was 200, so that lowers casual clothes down to 75. There's a couple of options with this one. I've gone for the balanced one, but you can look at the description here. So it tells you what it is by default, and then you've got options to download. The balanced one, which I've got, so it's quite fairly and differently priced amongst the different categories. You've got the cheaper version, which is like basically this, but even cheaper, and then the pricier version, which is still kind of the same scale between the different outfits, but a bit more expensive than the balanced, but still cheaper than a Maxis. And you've also got an optional free version as well, so just choose which one is right for you. I think the balanced one's just about right. So if we grab him a suit now, that's 150 rather than 400 simoleons it used to be for a formal outfit. Just 25 simoleons for some gym jams. Just 50 simoleons for a new swimwear. 25, that's quite cheap actually. I think maybe that should be a little bit more expensive. Just 25 for athletic, which yeah, that's really cheap. It's a bit more expensive for outwear, 100. Yeah, coats can be quite expensive things to buy. And lastly, for underwear, that's just 10 simoleons. Which I think's fair enough, although actually women's underwear, well actually no, even men's underwear's actually ridiculously expensive in real life, am I right? I feel like underwear's like more expensive than everyday wear. Tell me if you agree. We've also got a default replacement for this cash register, which is the one from H&M, which makes it smaller, and it also adds some lovely recolor options like this yellow one here. Next, we've got Simulation Princess's functional butcher kiosk. So now you can use this item, a custom copy of the Decor Chill display, and you can add decorative pieces to it. But when you click on the unit itself, you can choose to buy some different types of meat. So you could get some pork chops and some burgers, and he will just buy them straight from the kiosk. He doesn't need to go to the till. And then he's got these foods in his inventory that then can be stocked in his fridge when he gets home. So I'll try and remember to do that after. Moving on, we've got this lottery machine. So he's got some different options for the lottery. Maybe let's get one draw of each, because he's not got very much money. And see what happens. He's going to walk up to this cute little machine to get some lottery tickets. Okay, didn't seem to get one of those. I'm not sure what happens like once you actually get them in. Okay, that one doesn't seem to be updating whatever this is.
Hey, bless you.
Didn't seem to actually have anything. I don't know how this works. So since you got just one draw yet, so you can't enter the same draw multiple times. This is just for future draws. But I'm not sure when these draws happen. Is it time based? I'm just going to max this out and speed along to see if it get drawn. It might be at a certain time the draw happens. Not sure. There we go. So it's 7 PM. The Super Simoleon Lotto and the Cash Quest Lotto draws happen, and unfortunately he lost both. Does he still have? So that one got drawn. It looks like he's still got a power play. I wonder if that happens at a different time. But yeah, so the draws just happen at a certain time, and you can come to this kiosk to buy entries to a certain amount of draws, which I think will be like one per day. We now have like this Cashpoint banking type set. So we've got this ATM here that you can use to get a loan or to withdraw cash. So if we get 10, oh no, I didn't do anything. Oh, it just happened. But it's in his inventory now, and I think that's a nice immersive way, I believe, to transfer cash between households. So you could withdraw some money. Let's maybe do another 50. And then he's got a 50 note as well. And then I think you could gift that to another sim, and then they could sell it for the value in their house. So we'll try that at home. In that as well is that like these are the notes. It comes with loads of physical items, including these bags I've put here, and you can actually grab them. And I forgot to give anyone the trait, but I believe if Sims have the kleptomaniac trait, they might do this autonomously. But yeah, he could like literally just steal this money from here and then I guess sell it when he gets home. It'd be cool if like, you know, the police came or something, but you could have it storytelling if you use like a functional prison, and that if you catch any of your Sims stealing money, then you could send them to your functional prison if you do something like that. Let's try loan. He's got another 250. That didn't seem to add anything to it in inventory. You can repay the loan, but I'm not sure if there's any consequence to not. Personally, I prefer my edited loan system for Monique's hack computer to be able to do loans, but that's an alternate method. But yeah, let me send him home now, and I'll test my theory about being able to sell what he stole to see if we get that value, and about gifting money to another sim and then seeing if they could then sell that for the monetary value. So Don's home now, and I can stock the meat he bought into his fridge. But actually, there's another mod to look at. Is stock all Harvestables mod. But so usually to stock food you bought, you'd use this menu, and then you'd click them into the stock one by one, and it can be quite time consuming, especially if you've got a lot. Now there's a new option to just stock all the Harvestables, or functional food that you've got. And then both of those items have gone into his inventory, and if we check the food supplies, there we go, he's got 52 points of fresh food in there. So we've still got this money, so if I now sell this cash pile, yep, there we go, he's got 10,000 he actually stole. But let's see if I can give this money to someone else. So I've got Nina over, and I'm just going to give her a gift. I'm going to give her both of these note piles to transfer that cash. So Don paid for those notes with his household funds to get this physical money, sent them to Nina, and I should then be able to go to Nina and sell those notes to get the money in her household funds instead. So we will look at some more mods with the Calientes later, but I'll just quickly hop into Nina's household just to try that out. So here we are with Nina, and yes, she's got the £10 note and the 50 simoleon note in her inventory. So you can see they've got 1,040 simoleons. If I sell the 50, yeah, we've got 1,090, and then another 10, 1,100. So that's a cute immersive way of being able to transfer money between your sims. They can pay for cash that they give to someone else, and then they can sell it to get it in their family funds. Usually I just use Monique's cat computer to send money to other sims, household funds or bank account. And if you like the idea of having physical money, then check that out. Everything's got a cute custom model, so you can actually see the real simoleons, and you can also play around with the idea of different currencies like collector's editions and magic coins and like cryptocurrency and things. So yeah, you could really use this for like storytelling purposes. So we're sending Dawn to Tweaky Island to look at something, but the shuttle has just arrived, and it is default replaced with vegan cactuses set. They have slightly tweaked the colours, and rather than it just being the generic airport sign, there's a cute new sign for each of the vacation worlds. And yeah, so in my folder, I actually have both taxi default replacements right now, and Jackie93 Sims is loading after. So that means you can, if you want to use Jackie's for the yellow taxis, you still can, and that bundle doesn't include the vacation ones. So you'd have the Maxis ones if you only had Jackie's file. Of course, you can just use vegan cactuses only and have their lovely default replacements for all of the taxis, the yellow ones and the vacation ones. But if you want to mix and match, like I've done here, you can have vegan cactuses in your game and just have Jackie93 Sims in as well, but loading after, and you'll see Jackie's effect on the yellow, but still get vegan cactuses touch-ups on the vacation HUD ones. So I've sent Dawn to the majestic ruins of Jumbok the 4th to have a look at more Popcorn's default replacement set for this. So you might notice that it's looking a little bit different, all of the stonework around it and the fountain itself is looking different and new and updated and more in the Sims 4 style. I think a lot of this stuff was taken from the Sims 4 Jungle Adventure. These guys and these columns as well are looking different. The flooring here too. So it's just like a set that kind of goes with this lot. But I also believe it's got some lovely recolors. So if I can hop into buy mode, I should be able to take a look at some of the recolors for this. So there's a few options here. So while there's a default replacement, you could also go a really a different route with it, with these more orangey style ones. And then I think, oh, that doesn't have any recolors that these do. You could get, you know, a matching set with those. Skeletons can be white. I can't go on build mode, so I can't look at the other walls and floors. But yeah, if you like the 4:2 look and want to get a fresh, updated look for the Jumbok ruins, then this is the one for you. While I'm here, I also want to have a look at the lighting with my lighting mod update in Vacation Hoods. So if I set the hour to 6. Yes. Oh my god, yes. We actually get dawn and dusk in the Vacation Hoods now. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I wasn't sure because I feel like the you know, update notes didn't really explicitly say that. Get all the lights on. Oh, that is fantastic. That's been long overdue. At the night.
Dag,
Oh,
dag.
that looked like evening night for me. I think because of the like, I don't know. Actually, no, right. 6 a.m. I guess there's not then. There's just been like an edit to the one evening night, regardless of the time. Oh, I feel like things are like changing slightly. Is it just the lights coming on and off? So it's like it is evening, but there's a lot of like the pinky tones you don't normally see in dawn and dusk. Now, huh? I'll go and have a look at another lot, I think. So we're back at his hotel in the day. So let me try again to go to evening light. And then, okay, yeah, so it doesn't look like there is a difference between like evening, dawn, and dusk on the Vacation HUD still, but the night just looks more dusk-esque to me. There's more like pinky tones now, I swear. Like this certainly doesn't look as dark as it did before. It's 6, but even if I make it, you know, late at night, it doesn't look any different. So to me, I don't know, it always looks like dusk now. Whereas if it always looked like night. Okay, so that's not quite what I hoped for, but it's nice to see, you know, some changes to the vacation world lighting, because I don't think it was right at all before. So yeah. I've just remembered that I had the little tweaks I made to the reshade on. So before I had these two unticked, so I just wanted to show you what it looked like with the reshade by default and also with turning it off. So yeah, it's definitely not as pinky with the reshade off, to be fair. So it is probably that's making me think it's very much like dusk with the pink lighting. Because it's not doing it so much with without it on. But yeah, this really does show that there's just the one lighting for dawn, dusk, and evening. But yeah, so yeah, I mean the reshade just definitely brings out those warm pinky tones, even with the full options. And yes, it seems like the Vacation Hood is especially warm and tinty with this reshade, which is nice in a way. It's just like throwing me off looking like how dusk usually looks on the home hoods. So I'm here with the Brokes now. We're going to be taking another look at Babies Need Diapers because since we looked at it last, it's had some new versions released, some various improvements and add-ons. So just in case you didn't see the first release of it, when we covered that, it makes you actually need to have diapers to be able to change a toddler. So now if I try to change Belle, we get Brandy doesn't have any diapers. So what you can do is you can go into buy mode and buy some. But my critique last time was the mesh of the diapers, and they have been improved a lot now. If I can find them. I just had to hop out my game and actually edit these because then they were no longer in the catalogue. And I'm not sure if maybe that was deliberate, so that they'd only show up on community lots, like you have to buy them like on an OFB business, or maybe not, I'm not sure, but it didn't have a room sort. So for items to show up in the residential catalogue as well as the function sort, it needs a room sort. And for whatever reason, they didn't have a room sort anymore. So I've got an added one so I can actually buy them from the catalogue. But now the meshes and textures of these boxes are so much cute. Getting used to the other camera mod here. They are so much cuter. So that's a little 5-pack, and of course there's the bigger 20-pack. They're in Simlish, and they've got a really adorable design and some different colours. So I think they look great. And so now we've actually got one. So version 2 was an update with just some improvements, including this box improvement and other little fixes and things. And then they actually came out with version 3, which is more tailored for people that use custom changing tables. So if you play completely, Maxis in terms of CC, then you just want V2. But anyone that might use any kind of CC changing table would need V3. And with V3, there's no interaction on the box. Actually, I don't think there was until you have a changing table anyway. But now if we try to change Belle's diaper. Oh, we just what that was. It's just Mr. Humble dying again. Like it's thundering, it's not even raining. Yeah, so she has gone to walk over to the box since we don't have a change table. So she can actually change him on the spot. Now, if I get a changing table, and notice I have loads of changing tables here. Some of them are blue because obviously they were part of a set, and I've not got the set, I've just got the updated changing table, so some of them have got textures that depending on the missing, so I'll ignore those few. But there's loads of really cute custom changing tables that are now supported by this mod. I requested quite a few that I was using. There's some handy one tile ones. Oh, this half a set I absolutely love, but obviously I needed the whole set. But I like the nap time one, and obviously you'd need to get all the recolors from the original download, which I haven't done either. So yeah, make sure when you want some of these custom ones, you are grabbing the original download for any master files it's requiring and any recolors, because otherwise it's just the base mesh that's updated as part of this mod, which makes total sense. But yeah, let's pick out a cute custom one here. I do like this nap time one. So now we can stock using the changing table instead rather than the box, just because that was a little bit easier for the creator to be able to support custom changing tables. But now any others that you download won't automatically be supported. They need to have actually been edited for this mod, and loads have been done, but the creators said, reach out to them with any requests you've got for custom changing tables, so make sure you do that if any of your favorites aren't covered. But now we can actually check that there's no diapers in this change table, and we can go stock it. So Brandy will go and fetch the box and put them all in the changing table, and if we check them, there's still 20 actually, even though we just used one. But let's have Bo go again, and then we can change his diaper on the changing table. And there we go, we can actually do it. And then if we check, there we go, it has gone down by 1 this time. Let me get, if I delete this and then get a different one, this one. Oh, I don't like the English on this one. This one's very cute. And let's get a little box. So if I have him go, then yeah, there's no interaction. Oh, there is. So if I try, so you can still click on it before you've stocked it to change the diaper on the change table, but then she will stock them before doing it. And there we go, there's 4 because that was the 5-pack and she used 1. So yeah, love that mod. Great touch of immersion. I think it was a great idea to have, you know, a owned shop that sells diapers and you have to pop out to buy your diapers, but of course it is handy to actually have them in the catalogue as well. And also someone made a custom default replacement for the mesh, so I'll just hop out to show you that as well. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'll just show you the page because pictures are good. They've got 2 versions actually. So one is like a diaper bag, the small one and the big one. They're really cute. And then also these replacements for the boxes. So you choose whichever one you prefer for the version 3. So they're really nice alternatives as well, but I do think the original creator did a great job with these new meshes. I think they're perfectly nice as well, but these default replacements are also gorgeous. So yeah, just choose which ones suit your game the best. We've also got a load of custom Toddler Toys to look at now, and I think they're conversions from around The Sims 4, and they're all functional. I think a lot of them gain skills. So we've got these bells, which I believe are like the xylophone. Yeah, so that's building music and dance enthusiasm. So we've all got enthusiasm again. And he's building a skill, which I'm pretty sure will be creativity. Yeah, you got a creativity skill point from that. And then there's this abacus that you can play with. He's just kind of smashing it with a block, to be honest, but oh well, it's cute anyway. Another skill's being gained. I think this will be logic. Is he gaining any enthusiasm? No. Oh, there we go. He gained a logic skill point. He doesn't seem to actually be gaining any enthusiasm for it though, even though obviously we got a pop-up for the bells that it was a music and dance hobby, but no actual points are being gained, and he's been at it for quite a while. So I'm not sure if that's fully set up right. Gained another logic point still now. Enthusiasm. Oh yeah, there we go. He's got a music and dance. So I don't know if it's a bit slow or maybe the abacus just doesn't have any enthusiasm, which I guess makes sense. I think it could be science, but yeah, I guess that one doesn't have any enthusiasm, but this one definitely does have working music and dance. We've also got this oh, sunk into the floor here, like a nuts and bolts block toy, which gained him mechanical. Again, I'm not sure if this would have any enthusiasm. Oh yeah, it does. Look, it's got tinkering. So that one's got tinkering. And then there's a blocks puzzle. Oops, it's errored. I think because of how this is sunk into the floor, which is a bit strange. Oh, you can't reach that one? Why not? What's wrong with you? Oh, there we go. So this is like a shapes in the right hole game, I think. It's getting a skill again. Pretty sure this will be logic. Not sure if this is going to have any enthusiasm though. I think it perhaps doesn't actually. It might be cool if it gained science though. So yeah, it's gaining another logic skill from that. It doesn't seem to have any enthusiasm attached to it though. And then there's all these like doll houses, but I'm not sure if any of these perhaps gain skills. So we've got like a house, Yeah, he's gaining a skill. I'm not sure what this will be. Charisma. Okay, he's gaining charisma from the dollhouse. We did gain science. What was that from? Was that from the house or the block? What about the castle? Yeah, charisma from the castle as well. I think the signs must have been from those blocks. With the thunderstorm, let's try the rocket. Charisma from the rocket ship as well. I think that'd be cool if it was science. He's just losing all his enthusiasm now, so I guess these don't have enthusiasm, and the signs must have been from the block that he played with a really long time. Maybe if I reset his skills, it won't take him so long to gain one, so we can see what it is. And then there's this like shop, which is cute as well. Yeah, charisma from the town. And then lastly, the barn. So they've all got the like dollhouse like animations, but it's not actually holding anything. No, it kind of looks like he's like building it in a way, which is cute. But yeah, so all of these like playhouse kind of things, again, charisma and no enthusiasm, which I think's fair enough. I think some of them would be cool if it was a different skill, especially the rocket ship, or maybe no skill at all. I'd assume it might be more realistic. So this bells is creativity, music and dance. This abacus is logic, and I'm not sure if I don't think it's got any enthusiasm. It could be science, but I don't think so. And we've got this nuts and bolts that's sunk in the wall, which gains mechanical and tinkering enthusiasm, and then this block toy which gains logic and I think science. So yeah, I always like to have variation for my toddler toys, have different ways for them gaining different skills and enthusiasms. Otherwise, it's actually quite limited what they can do and just get shaping those little personalities. So yeah, always welcome new toddler toys. Let's let someone else have some fun now, because now we've got this shark Tamagotchi toy. So I've just bought that from the recreational section of the catalogue. Let's have Dustin play with the Tamagotchi. So then he's playing with the Tamagotchi. Got some custom sounds. Looks like it's using the cell phone animations. He's not gaining any fun from it. Let me reset it now. I've lowered his phone. It's not gaining him any fun, and I think it's supposed to. Maybe if, well, sound goes on a while, and it's a bit annoying. I was never a Tamagotchi person when I was younger. I had like a Marks and Spencer's own like pretend Tamagotchi. It doesn't seem to actually gain any fun, which is a bit strange. I think it's supposed to. And hopefully the sound stops eventually. Yeah, there we go. It also says it's supposed to gain the logic skill. I don't know, maybe I installed something wrong. Don't think so though. But yeah, I couldn't see any fun gain. Next, we've got like my favourite thing to do with Brandy for some reason, and that is look at functional kitchen appliances. Next, we've got a functional kettle, which you can use to make tea, and this is very important to me as a Brit. I have lots of tea. So that's just a quick animation to make tea. I guess boil the kettle, and then when you click on it, you can choose which type of tea to drink. So it looks like it's mostly, yeah, it's all herbal teas, and I love my herbal teas, so let's have a chamomile tea. It costs 5 simoleons, and then she's going to pour herself a very cute cup of chamomile tea and sit and drink it. So this is increasing her comfort and decreasing her bladder and energy. So yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because chamomile is supposed to help you sleep. So I guess maybe they all have some different custom effects. So chamomile's making her nice and sleepy. So if your sim gets up in the middle of the night, they could have a chamomile tea so they can get back to bed without you having to cheat it down. Oh, I love that. Let's have a look at some of the others. And then obviously she's gone and washed the mug in the sink. Oh, love that. So it looks like they all gain energy apart from chamomile that drinks it. Let's have a peppermint tea now. Oh, I love the way they look. Look at it with a little leaf in it. Oh, it's so cozy. So yeah, comfort's going up, energy and bladder are slightly going down, energy slightly going up. It's very, very slight boost. Obviously it's not the same as coffee, it's not as strong as that, and peppermint isn't really known for its energy boost. Like, that was a really, really slight gain, which I love. Wouldn't it be cool, perhaps, hear me out, if peppermint gave a slight tiny boost to hygiene because it like freshens your breath? Am I just like reading too much into that? I don't know. Let me see if any have a bigger boost to energy. Green tea is supposed to be good for energy, so let's look at this one. I think it's still a very slight bit. I think it's up against a lot, obviously, because she's pregnant, so her energy's quite fighting to go down anyway. So maybe if I have Dustin have a cup, maybe try some Earl Grey. That's got caffeine in it, I believe. So yeah, that looks more like a, you know, a standard tea. It's a very, yeah, it looks like it is giving him a bit more of a boost. Obviously his energy's not fighting with all its might to go down because he is not heavily pregnant. So yeah, I think that is really cute. I think that might be a must-have for me. Every single day basically I have a peppermint and a chamomile tea, so that is really nice. Now we're going to take a look at Hypersaline's user beware folder. So this creator has shared a lot of work in progress mods that we can try out. So the first one I don't think I can really show you, which is just a fixing a bug in the sim power menu that usually keeps anyone other than young adults and adults from autonomously choosing custom social interactions. So I guess when you have a mod that makes a custom social interaction, sometimes young adults and adults can autonomously use them, but Sims of other ages never can. So I guess that's fixes that. But next let's look at this talk to baby. Well, I actually need to actually let's look at one. Let's look at another one. So I'm gonna have Brandy go outside. Now there is a new self interaction called Call All Over, which you can do, and then that should make everyone on the lot come to her. So Bo's making his way. I don't think he'll be able to get down the stairs, but yeah, even Bo is going. Even this walked by, came over. So did Dustin, and Bo tried his best, bless him. But yeah, this is really useful for like a party or a wedding. When you want to gather all your guests at once, you can just click on the sim and then just make everyone on the lot come to that spot, and then everyone's coming over and Bo is trying. So yeah, that is super handy. Love that one. Next, I have cheat fulfilled a load of fears for branding to send her into aspiration failure, because there's a mod that makes it chance that when a sim has an aspiration failure, their primary aspiration actually changes. So that didn't do it, but we can try again for Brandy. I'm not sure what the likelihood of it is. Maybe let's try with Dustin as well. Can teens not have an aspiration failure? Oh. Never mind then. Let's try third time maybe with Brandy. There we go. Right, fifth time it happened. Brandy's now got the grilled cheese aspiration. I think it can change to any of the aspirations. But yeah, this is really unlucky because Brandy is now the grilled cheese aspiration. So yeah, there's clearly a fairly small chance. Well, by my testing, 20% chance, but I have no idea what it is actually. That's just how it worked out for Brandy. That on the 5th time it happened, and she got a different primary aspiration after going into aspiration failure. And I think that's a cute idea. I would say they're not doing very well with their current aspiration, so they changed things up. But I think that's cute. Now, Brandy has just given birth to little Bobby, and Dustin has just taught Bo how to talk because of a new interaction is where speaking toddlers or children can actually talk to a baby and gain a relationship with them. So now they can do a little babble and increase their relationship. Which is really cute. I think it only works if they're on the floor. Wow, it seems really strong actually. It's gone on for a really long time and again a lot of relationship from there. They just carry on until you tell them to stop perhaps. Obviously it's summer, so there's a family relationship. But yeah, it looks like it'll just like continuously go on. I mean, like Bo's social need is full and is still going. So I think at least with this work in progress version, it'll just keep happening until you stop it. Yeah, they've literally gained 100 daily now from that. Don't have my dangle master in. That's a shame. I wanted to see if it would work while the baby's in the dangle master. I feel like it wouldn't though. Let me perhaps put him in the crib and maybe, obviously you can't interact with it, maybe if he grows up into a child? Yeah, so now he's a child, I've got this option to talk to him. Oh, okay, he wants to get that side of it. Okay, so a child will sit on the end of a crib to talk to a baby in the crib, which is cute, and gain a relationship that way. Again, I assume it'll just be until you tell them to stop. It does just seem to do the daily relationship. I think it would be better if they sat in front of the crib instead, because I don't know about you, I usually like don't have the space either side, so I would prefer it if they actually sat here and did this, but nonetheless it's cute, and it's exciting to see what this creator is working on. Now, they also have a skilling by trait mod, but there's no documentation for this, so I can only guess, and maybe I'll dig around in SimPE after. But I've gone and given Brandy the natural cook trait, Dustin the handy trait, and Bo the neat trait, because it doesn't sound like this is tied to like bookshelf skilling specifically. It seems like it can be any activity, but I'm guessing if I had them all study cooking, it's going to be a traffic jam, isn't there? Then I would assume that Brandy would... Oh, actually, it's not really a fair test because obviously they're just getting them one skill, so I'll have to reset Brandy's skill. I think Brandy should gain it faster. Obviously, she's started a bit later than them, but yeah, she's already past them. So yeah, this looks like it's working. They're all gaining their first cooking skill point now. Yeah, and Brandy's been the first. Dustin started the earliest, but Brandy has gone and gotten that skill first. So let me do the same with mechanical now. There we go. They've all gained one cooking skill. And let's try mechanical. Should have got them a bookshelf each really to do this fairly. Yeah, I mean Justin's getting a head start anyway, isn't he? But I think it'll still be pretty clear. Where are you? Oh, there's a bookshelf in there. I did not realise. Yeah, obviously he started first, but I think it's pretty clear that he is gaining that faster, at a faster rate than the rest of them. Look, he's nearly got that point, and he's the handy one. So there we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Looks like it's going to take a while for the others to catch up. So yeah, look, he's nearly gained another... Well, he gained a full another quarter before Brandy learned hers, and a half before Beau gained his, who was the last. So yeah, I'm guessing it will apply to cleaning and neat as well. One can only guess, and this time it should be Beau that does it the fastest. He's really struggling to get to a bookcase, but can he beat them anyway? Let's see, and they're off. Yep, he's surpassed them, and he's going to get it first, despite being the last one to sit down and start. So yeah, it's fairly intuitive with those as well, but it seems like the same would apply to working out. I'm going to make Dustin athletic as well now, and I'm going to have them all jump rope. Yeah, is it me? I'm pretty sure Dustin's gaining that faster than the others. Notice all the skipping ropes just the normal colour, because they don't have any colour traits. So you know, these sims don't have to have a colour trait for that to apply. And as we looked at earlier, there we go. Yeah, he's gained it faster. Dustin and Brandy are in their athletic wear. So yeah, it seems fairly intuitive. I've no idea if it supports any of the, you know, other sets like Catch on the Flippity Flop or anything like that. I'll just assume not for now, to be honest. One last test then. Let's make Brandy artistic. Oh, kids can't paint, can they? By default, you have to open mod to do that. Well, never mind. We can still see her beat Dustin. We get them in the easel each and have these two practice painting. Then Brandy should gain it faster. Yeah, way faster. Look at that. Look at her go. Yeah, so basically exactly. She gained 2 skill points in the time it took Dustin to gain 1. Granted, she did start slightly faster, but still, yeah, that's very intuitive and very fair. There's been a similar thing done before by F-Way, but I think it had some issues. And I think it was perhaps done in a different way. No, you know what? I think it was actually the toddler skills that didn't work properly. Yeah, so like charismatic toddlers would have learned to talk faster was the idea, but it didn't work. Oh, it had like a penalty for like shy toddlers would gain it slower, but the bug was that they'd just literally never be able to gain the skill. So yeah, that was a shame, but it was a really good idea. So I'm not sure if it applies to toddler skills actually, or if there's any negatives. Oh yeah, lowers or raises. So yeah, it looks like if they'd have like a conflicting trait, then it would make them especially slow. So let me actually stop this. I'll get rid of Brandy's artistic, but I'll give Dustin can't stand art. Set them both back. Oh, no, it's cooking. Set the creativities both back to 0. Oh no, Dustin, maybe he already had a creativity skill. Huh, he also gained 2 in that time. Or 1. Because I think he already had 1. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure Brandy gained it faster. But let's try now. If we have them continue, is Dustin going to be slower? Yes. Brandy's still gaining it faster because he has the can't stand out trait, it would seem. Now this is just some custom content, so we'll not take a look at that one. But please read this because I don't understand. The Consignment Mod lets you set up a second-hand market and send your Sims old furniture, etc. to be bought by other families, hopefully more convenient than inventory trades. But be cautious if selling an object that might have something that shouldn't go in an inventory, like a Sim in it or on it. Okay, so as far as I can tell, this mod adds this crate thing, the consignment crate, this packs items up to be sold second hand. So let me place this. There's no interactions for it. If you place it over an item, you can sell it that way, just like to the catalogue, but it's the same amount of money and everything. And like, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't snap, so it doesn't like put the sofa, the armchair in the box to go in the inventory. And selling it, just boom, it just poofs it into the, like, to the buy catalogue. So I don't get it. I don't understand. Is it maybe like on an owned business you can't sell second-hand things? Maybe I should go to another lot to test this out. Go to like Blue Water Village or something. I will try and take a look at the consignment mod in Blue Water Village just when we're done with a couple of things I wanted to look at with the bros. So Brandy and Beau are in their bed together, and I'm going to get Brandy up now while Beau stays asleep, just for the mod that you can make the bed while it's still in use. So now even if a sim is still sleeping on the other side of the bed, another sim can still make an unmade side, which yeah, convenient, I guess. Okay, I'm here with the Ramirez family now, in Blue Water Village. This wasn't really part of the plan, but I thought maybe it might help to understand the consignment mod, perhaps. So I've made a day pass, so all the furniture has depreciated. So obviously this would sell for $5.95, but the same chair is worth $700. So I'm gonna bring just some of their furniture pieces along with us to Checo's furniture store. So we're here, so if I get his furniture out, can I then set this for sale? Oh yes, I can. Yeah, the wholesale cost does seem to be taken into the depreciation into account, so it's not to do with that. If I use, and the crate isn't even available on community lots, so clearly it's nothing to do with that. What are these? Oh, consignment marker. Oh, we've got different things instead. Consignment marker floor. What does that do? Oh my god. Don't know. Is it perhaps that they don't need to be set for sale? Or that this could perhaps be done on an unowned community lot? I don't know. So the crate thingy seems to be on residentials, and on community lots we've got these markers, but I have no idea what they do. What? Whoops. Oh my god, it just disappeared. Okay, I've just sent his side table into oblivion. I really don't know. If anyone has more of an idea on how this consignment mod is meant to work, then please let me know, because I'm not getting it at the moment, but that's probably a me problem. I'm here with the Pleasants now, and I've even moved in Coral and Herb as well. Not that there's really room for them, but I think they'll be handy for some of the mods I want to look at with these guys. But firstly, I'm going to have Angela here argue with Lilith, because Epi has made a mod to improve the argue animations so that they actually look like they're disagreeing and having an unpleasant conversation. By default, the argue animations used to actually look quite amicable, like they were even agreeing and understanding each other a lot of the time. So this yeah, I think this really improves the animations for that. So here's what I wanted to show you earlier. Kaylin has arrived to have a look at this Maid outfit. Default is really true to Maxis, this one, so I like it. It just makes a black truer black, like a dark black, and also makes the shoes cute. To be honest, there's lots of really nice, more practical maid outfit defaults, and I think for most maids they make more sense. But this outfit is just so iconic for Kaylin. I couldn't imagine, playing out this first part of Pleasant View with any outfit other than this. I wish there was a way that it was just Kaylin that had this outfit, and all the other maids had like a more sensible default. But yeah, I just really like this one for Kaylin, and I think this it makes a very classic Maxis style just look that little bit better. I'm now having Daniel and Herb play a bit of soccer, just try and have a little look at the mod for Freetime sports more balanced. These objects did have a few issues, like the energy drain would be really, really heavy, and they just the fitness enthusiasm and body fitness and skills just weren't really that balanced compared to the other ones. And Daniel has Max's fun here, and usually they would stop playing, but here he goes, he's still carrying on. So that's good. That always bothered me. Usually the more fun mod by Sargon, I usually have him but don't right now, would solve that, but I think this is specific to this. I thought they might have stopped once the Herb got a skill here, but no, it looks like they're just carrying on. So that's good. I like that. I think they'd just stop if their other needs were suffering, but as you can see, they're doing okay. The hygiene's actually coming down, which wasn't before. Let me just take a look at the description here, because I don't think I can really demonstrate everything. So yeah, the motive drain is much lower. After a lengthy play, only hygiene will be low with some loss of energy. Previously just standing there before the soccer net sucks out energy like a black hole and allowed to perform only 5 shots, starting with perfectly green motive. So yes, it was really harsh on energy gain. Perhaps this is even too low. I'm not sure. I definitely think it should reduce comfort. It doesn't seem like that's very dramatic at all. Yeah, it really doesn't look like the comfort's going down much at all, so I do think that should actually be a bit harsher. Maybe energy drain has been reduced too much on that. I don't know. It was ridiculously harsh before. Lower body skill and fitness gain for basketball and higher fitness gain for soccer. So again, they must have been, very unbalanced and not made sense. Exit as per skill object, allowing to play for longer with full fun. This also makes joining basketball more reliable because of equal priorities. Exit as per skill object. Oh, right, yeah, so like any other skilling object, they'd carry on until you tell them to stop, or they're suffering with another need. Lower fun depending on personality, so lazy sims lose fun if persuaded to play. Are either of these guys lazy? Yes, Herb is. He's not really losing. Yeah, he's very slowly losing fun, but yeah, he's definitely not having fun, and obviously Daniel is loving it. But yeah, it's very, very slight fun loss there. Check for visitors not to enter with critical motives and lower interest in physical activities. Visitors can't call over another sim to play soccer with them if the sim is busy or low motives. At least neutral relationship is required to play together. That makes sense. Relationship gained from soccer is proportional to time actually spent shooting goals. Advertised mode is the same for basketball and soccer to make them be used equally. I guess one was a lot more popular than the other. I think perhaps the basketball was a lot more popular before. Disable autonomous socials while playing, so other sims won't try and interrupt them when they're playing. They can actually be cancelled while they walk into it, rather than having to walk all the way to it before stopping, which is good. Basketball field is passable by any person while nobody's playing. This permits the object to be built in smaller backyards, so yeah, that it can actually be walked through. Children will dress into athletic wear before soccer. Lower energy drain, half the fitness and body skill compared to the regular exercise machine, and reasonable lower fun gain for the exercise bike. One can gain fun during the exercise if facing a working TV. Switching the TV on and off will no longer reset the motor entry. Okay. Some other exercise bike stuff. But yeah, that seems like a pretty good pack. I think some other mods tackle it in different ways, so there's probably a lot of conflicts, and it might be like, oh, this mod does that, but this mod forgot to spell this, and this mod does that better, but then this other mod does that part better. So it's probably going to be annoying to figure out the conflicts and which ones to prioritize for me anyway. But it's good to have that option. It's the next day now. I'm gonna have them all go on a jog, I think. Oh, it requires some enthusiasm, doesn't it? I'll say that Daniel has some fitness enthusiasm, so we can take them all for a jog. Why is that so limited? Ah. Okay, I guess Mary Sue and Lilith can go separately, so I'll say that Mary Sue is also into fitness, and she can go jogging with Lilith. There we go. I didn't know that was so limited. I thought more Sims could go together, so they should all go off on a jog now, because we're going to be looking at the mod that jogging is more fun. But this one actually does a lot more than on the tin. I don't think they went for very long because of the carpool and school bus, maybe. But they all had fun, apart from Herb. And obviously we found out earlier that he is very lazy, whereas none of the others are lazy, so they found it fun. But Herb did not, but at least he gained a body skill from it. But this mod, it does a lot more than it says on the tin. Is a lot more complex. So jogging and hiking, it actually covers hiking as well, gains more fun proportional to the active personality and enthusiasm, as well as relationship towards all participants to balance the loss of motives. Lazy and fat people without enthusiasm will lose fun and comfort. They get more comfortable after losing weight. Rebalance the motives from energy to comfort loss. So yeah, none of them, really got tired from that. I did start with like maximum motives, but yeah, they've all lost some comfort, especially Herb. Sims will not randomly become unavailable to be invited on a job after having fallen out of interactions off will. 3 members can always be invited. Oh. What was it before? Oh, only... Why is that so restrictive? That's a shame. I feel like it would be cool if it was more could be invited and it doesn't need to be only large dogs. And greeted visitors can come too. A group of hikers who are close together or a lone hiker will go directly to the closest exit instead of the mailbox. They will hug the mailbox less tightly, which works better if it is against bushes or a fence. People will dress before walking to the meeting point. They can go hiking in activewear or outerwear. People fade out en route to the exit portal before reaching it. I think that helps with collision. They will arrive orderly as a group if they left at different times. They will also try to leave in a more organised manner. While jogging or hiking, some people can replenish their bladder. Pets are more likely to use the toilet irrespective of personality. Suitable neighbours would be chosen at random encounters during hiking based on their enthusiasm. Locals have a higher chance to be met. Fewer NPCs are possible. Bad events during hiking are less likely with high enthusiasm. When dropping out, the person may show a motive balloon indicating the reason. This is less likely to happen now. Hiking can't be cancelled. It is not that long. The participants need to stay on it to receive rewards. If the leader returns, everyone will return with him. More objects such as edible garden produce or fish and small, easily lost things may be found and given to the entire party. The items have a low monetary value. And you can customize the list and it tells you how. So yeah, that seems to balance hiking and jogging a little bit better, which is cool. I've had Coral plant her garden and she's got some tomatoes ready to harvest, so she's gonna harvest many. She's got 36 mouth-watering tomatoes. So if I get them a juicer now, there's a new handy interaction to stock all but by quality. So they all happen to be mouthwatering. I don't know why that is. It's probably because the plant was in such good condition. So maybe I could right, so I was actually just trying to speed along time to see if I could make this plant, not be as healthy anymore, so we can, see the difference with having different quality of produce in our inventory. But now I've got a notification that Coral is sick with an elder's cough. It's not contagious, but it may be serious. Coral should be careful and have more rest. So that is the next mod that we'll be looking at, and I'll speak more about it shortly. So the plant is only healthy now. So if Coral can stop coughing, let's harvest those ones and see if they're a bit of a lower quality. Yes, she got some tasty one. Oh, they do still stack. I forgot how it worked there. Yeah, so she's got some tasty tomatoes. Now, they're not all mouth-watering. But, as I was saying, when you click on the juicer, rather than having to, bring up this normal menu and find ones you want and just stock them one at a time, you can now choose to stock all by taste. So if she stocks all the mouth-watering, she automatically puts on the mouth-watering and she's left with 14 tasty tomatoes. Or maybe it has a limit because it looks like there's 2 mouth-watering still in her inventory. But then she can make some tomato juice, obviously as normal, but that's a way to, quickly get all your produce of the same quality in a juicer. Tried. Okay, I don't know why these 2 mouth-watering ones aren't having it, but still it's a handy menu nonetheless. So back to the mod we got sneak peek at just before. I've kind of gone back in time, but again, Coral has got a elder's cough again, but now Herb feels suddenly unwell. Obviously he's still quite young. But look, he's dying because his mood was so low. Thanks to Lamar's mod of a random chance of elder longevity and sickness and death, it makes the elder life stage more predictable. Now I did quite heavily tune it, more than it is by default, just to make sure we actually got a good look at it. By default the chances are really quite low. But basically it just adds more somewhat random, but also quite fairly calculated ways of deciding things that happen. So there's various impacts, as you can see, like from tuning examples here. There's a base random chance of certain things happening, dying early, getting sick, and living longer. I think the base chance of living longer is actually usually 0. It can only happen based on certain factors, but usually there's a very low chance of just randomly dying early, about 2%. But then there's all these factors that can then increase that chance, and I went quite heavy on those to make sure we could have a look at it. So there's a percentage for having low aspiration score and a bad mood, and Herb had both, and I think I made them both be like 50-50. I think by default they're about 2, and it's very easy to play around with however you want. You can have a chance for like having no best friends or pet friends, makes it more likely to die early, for being sick, for being furious, or for having a recent bad memory. Can all up the chances of dying early, random chance for getting sick, but also more likely being half past elderhood. You can reduce it if you've learned physiology, or you can increase it if the Sim's in a bad mood. And so there's tuning for just actually getting a bit more life on the other hand though as well. I think so, like I said, this is usually just 0, but based on all these factors we've got an increased percentage for being fit, having high enthusiasm in a hobby, learning lifetime happiness, having many best friends, having a good mood and a gold aspiration score, right, reducing the chance based on low aspiration score or bad mood or being sick. So I think these are all by default set to 100. So this means okay, you might have a 5% chance, say, because you fit each day. But if at the time you're also in a bad mood, then that chance isn't going to happen at all. And just all kinds of really smart things like that. You can tune it to process at a specific hour, which I did, so I knew when to expect it. So I changed it to process at midnight. But by default, it's just at a random hour. So at a random time in a day, an elder might be like, oh, you know, you feel suddenly unwell and die. You know, if you're really meeting these criteria, like I said, it's a very low chance, but we made her poor Herb suffer. Or a bad feeling at the end is near. Being sick with a cough, and then that cough is another illness that can contribute to this chance of dying early. But really, it's just another way elders can get sick. So it's like elders are more likely to get sick than adult Sims. You know, if they're having a great time, then Louise might live longer than expected, like this, and they just you know, get rewarded for, you know, living a good life and can get a day at a time. Each time any of this chance is met, they'd get an extra day by default, but of course you can add that, and then there's a maximum, so it can live up to 5 days longer than the max by default, but you could also increase that. So yeah, it's just really spices up the elder stage, which I think is really fun. And Herb obviously got the short end of the stick by having a bad mood, below aspiration scores, and me harshly changing the percentages to like 50% rather than about 2%. So yeah, goodbye Herb all day. So I actually tried to just show you the flip side of this by making Coral, you know, in a good mood, in platinum aspiration, by making her fit, by giving her high enthusiasm, thinking that would make her get the extra days instead. But because a recent bad memory is a chance for the dying early, which I also increased, I think this is what is overriding here. And now Coral also feels suddenly unwell, and there she goes, dying before her time. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't get to show you the flip side of it, where she gained a day of life, but yeah, I'm sure you can imagine. I did try to show you the flip side of it a few times, many days in game, trying to trigger that extra life, but I've had to give up. So let's take a look at our next mod. So the twins are home from school, but as you can see, Angela hasn't got her homework in hand this time. She's got a box because she's brought a school project instead with the mod school project. So now there's a chance that instead of the traditional homework assignment, they will get a school project like in The Sims 4. By default, the chance is 20%, but to make sure I painlessly was able to show you, I've upped it to 50%. So here Angela is with her school project. So Lilith's going to have one. Yep, and Lilith has also brought a school project, but as you can see, the box looks a bit different. So they've brought home different projects. Okay, so they're both putting them in Angela's room. Let's put yours in your room, shall we? So you click on them, it's just the option to do school project like it is for homework, but they can be helped with it, which would speed it along. But I guess maybe teach them how to do homework. I'm not sure. Well, Angela's golden child, isn't she? So we'll get Mary Sue to help Angela, but we'll just leave Lilith to struggle and do it by herself. Lilith is sitting down here. She's unpacked it. And so it looks like she's got all kinds of DIY supplies, building supplies, paint. So she's going to sit here and build up this project. There we go, Angela started hers with her mom's help. Looks like it could do with a bit more room than I've given it, both being next to walls. And it looks like they're gaining a badge skill there. And I think they can also gain skills from it. So Angela gained a logic skill from hers, and as you can see, her set's different. She's got different supplies in here. Hers certainly looks a little bit more sciencey, whereas Angela's looks quite. Whereas Lilith's, sorry, looks quite more DIY-y, woodworky. I don't know, PT like. So yes, it adds a bit of variety because, yeah, I think I've got those default replacement thing that I don't really are you still playing soccer? So yeah, they are gaining badge progress. I think. Oh, there we go. So Angela's has nearly finished it and it's become a rocket. Lily's still slowly struggling away. Obviously, it's faster if they are getting some help with it. So there we go. She gained some science enthusiasm, and we've actually got it in our inventory if you actually download the original conversions. But this one is a poor quality one that Angela managed to come up with. I don't know if it's dependent on the related skill or badge or enthusiasm or anything like that. But yeah, this is Angela's project and it's poor quality. You actually get a copy of it if you have the original models, but then, you know, just like homework works at school, the next day they get the grade progress for it. Looks like she did learn to study through doing that. So the original models are all in the catalogue. So yeah, as you can see, this is a poor one, but if she made a good one, this is what it would have looked like. Or if she made an excellent one, then that's what it would have looked like. So there's just some slight variations on what they produce. I'm not sure if it affects the grades or anything like that. I'll check in a second. But I believe they are just decorative. Obviously, it looks like you should be able to launch this to the market, but they are just decorative. I'd probably usually hide these from the catalogue, to be honest, and not have them as something that you can buy. But it is cool, and I'm glad I was able to show you the differences. So I'll delete those, and I'll keep. I don't think you actually need to keep it in your inventory for it to go to school or anything like that. But let's see what Lilith comes up with. She's really struggling with the bun. Was that robotics that she's gaining? I can't tell what those badges are. Oh yeah, she's giving up. Whoa, where are you going with it? Okay, she's putting it here. But yeah, come on, come on, Lilith. Almost finished, 88%. Oh, she had the bridge one. So she's getting some tinkering hobby, it looks like. So yes, she also made a poor quality bridge. So let's have a look what else she might have come up with if she did a better job. Where's the bridge? So that's the poor bridge. This is a good bridge. That looks much better. Is there an excellent bridge somewhere? Oh yes, right here. That is the excellent bridge. So that's a really big difference with that one. So there's 6 different school projects: the bridge, which we've seen, the castle, electricity, rocket, which we also saw, and the solar system and a volcano. So castle, solar system and volcano are for children, whereas for teens it was the bridge, electricity and rocket. They take a bit longer to finish, but are more rewarding than traditional homework because they gain skills, hobby enthusiasm and badges. So yeah, the bridge gained mechanical skill and tinkering enthusiasm. Castle makes your sim gain creativity skill and arts enthusiasm. Electricity gains mechanical skill, robotry badge and tinkering enthusiasm. Rocket makes your sims gain logic skill, toy making badge and science enthusiasm. The solar system makes you gain mechanical skill and science enthusiasm, and the volcano makes you gain logic skill and nature enthusiasm. The skill badge and enthusiasm gain isn't great, but it's there, so it's not like overpowered or anything. You can't see the skill meter because of the only meter they can have is the progress meter. They have the chance of making it one of these quality. The outcome depends on skill and badge corresponding to the project. Getting help with school projects, but it only counts if it's happening during quality check. Oh, and some traits as well. I didn't realise that. I should have given them some traits before they started. Oh dear. So clumsy sims will always get a penalty, so they're more likely to make a bad one. Technophobes gain a penalty for electricity and the rocket. Constant art gain a penalty for the castle. Geniuses and perfectionists will always get a bonus. Handy sims will get a bonus for working on electricity and rocket, and artistic and avant-garde sims will always get a bonus when working on the castle. But the bonuses don't stack and penalties also don't. So it doesn't matter if your sim's a genius and a perfectionist and an artistic, they'll only just get the one bonus. And it's got all sorts of compatibility options for some other really great homework related mods. Medusa is just an absolute queen of compatibility, all kinds of information about compatibility and options for you. So yeah, what a fantastic mod. Just really adds some just variety and makes school more interesting and gives children and teens a chance to get their hands on some other skills and badge progress, which is really cool. I'm here with the Caliente sisters again now, and we've got both Mortimer and Dawn over, and I wanted to take a look at this new door lock setting. So now when you click on a door, you've got a new option to allow best friends of the household. It's best friends of the household. In this case, I've just grabbed Brandy over as well, because even though Dina gets on with Brandy okay, they both do, she's not a best friend of the household. So I've got this setting on now, allowing best friends of the household. So if I send Dina up to what I assume is her room, and then use that handy call all over, we're all going to try to come. Oh, shoot, I'll have to do the same for this then, actually. Forgot about that door. Right, okay, I didn't do that in time. Okay, let's try the same. Right, I'm just gonna... no, I'll do both for routing. I'll do the same for Nina's room. Have Nina go in there. Call everyone over. Oh, God. What just happened? Call all over. Right. Okay, because all of that tiff just happened, Mortimer's not a best friend in the household now either. So you can see neither of these Sims can come in this room, but Dawn can as a best friend of the household. So that's just another way to kind of, you know, filter out the Sims that can use the door. Similarly to this, we've also got a default replacement for Piscado's Authorized Personnel Only as this decorative switch. So I don't know what happens if I put it between two doors. Right, oh my god. So you've got all these options. I've never really used this Authorized Personnel. Wow, there's a lot of options here. So if I use it to deny visitors and then add an override for Mortimer Goth, unlock these doors. If she calls all over, I don't know how that mod works. For some reason, Don can get through, Mortimer still can't, even though I added an override for Mortimer and denied visitors. But anyway, if you liked the Authorized Personnel Only mod and you will have it work, unlike me, you can get a default replacement to make it look like a light switch instead if you want. And let's now take a look at some other default replacements for like hack objects. So next we've got a default replacement for the Sim Control tool, which I've also never used. It makes it a mirror by default, but there's all kinds of different models now. View mirrors. I think they're all some kind of wall objects, but yeah, there's some cute variety there with the towel models and things. What does this do? Oh, it just makes them like auto-fulfill a need without you actually clicking the specific item. Yeah, and just find a way to learn the cleaning skill. So she's going to choose to study it. Or the body skill. Yeah, so that's just like a way to just future job. I don't know what that is. Ah, okay. So then that cues interactions to do what they might need for a future job. Okay. And you can set them on a chore. There's nothing too clean. Okay. Make that dirty. Why isn't that going dirty? Okay, well, the sink's dirty, so now if she goes for a cleaning chore, she'll just clean that, and that's another way, similar to the garden clean duties or the macrotastics. Okay, let me get rid of this because it's driving me mad. Oh, it's because that door was unlocked. Oh, I'm silly. I'm very silly. Manage mail. Would that just make them go and collect mail? Pay bills, that kind of thing. Children could do the homework. That's just a handy other hack object that I've not used before, so I just want to explore that. I think it is. I don't think as many people are as familiar with it, but this is some new models for it this time. Obviously, it is a mirror, but the mirror isn't functional as a mirror. We've also got default replacements for basically all of the modding tools. So we've got a default replacement for the visitor control that by default looks like a tip jar. We've got the sim blender that looks like a piece of driftwood. Got the business controller, which annoyingly is still like, you can't like close the menu again, can you? It's still like on the uncategorized bit when you first open this without any of these open yet. It like shows there, which has always annoyed me. What else? We've got the sim manipulator as a watering can. So that's just a few examples of them in this set, different hack objects that have had their default model replaced, but also their ones you can change them to replace. So I can change the models, and we've got all sorts of different things. I can make it a step stool, a palm bush, a grass vase, all kinds of different things. So that's the manipulator, the sim blender. Let's have a look. How do you change it? Misc, change object model. You just cycle through those. So we've got the fire hydrant, we've got the tree, cactus, another tree, our like OFB, tulip vase, pot holder, a watering can, a little pot. So yeah, like all kinds of things. How do you change this one? Change model to next model, cash register. I think maybe they have the same options amongst them. Oh, a mirror. So yeah, if you kind of like to always have your hack objects out and like to be able to disguise them amongst different rooms and things, and you can remember which ones they are, then this might be a good set for you. So this bulletin board is actually a separate default replacement. So this is the Business Runs You mod, but it's replaced with this bulletin board instead, which is nice. Speaking of default replacements, I also wanted to show you one for the pet food, which I think looks great. Obviously the client doesn't actually have a pet, but it doesn't matter, we can still go ahead and fill this pet food. And now the kibble will actually look like kibble rather than cereal. So I can show you the before and after. So here we go, that's the example. It looked like cornflakes before, and now it actually looks like pet biscuits. And this set actually replaces quite a few things. So it actually makes the bone you can dig up when digging for treasure buyable as a pet toy, because that's how it can be used. And it changes the look of this bone to actually be different, because it usually just looks like this. So now they're actually distinguishable. That actually looks like a real old bone, whereas this, you know, it still looks like a dog toy. So there's a visual difference with those instead of them being the same, which is nice. This pet bed now looks like this. To be honest, I quite like the extravagant way this pet bed used to look with the canopy. It's got more muted colours now rather than being as bright. So if that's more your taste, then you'll like that. And it also default replaced some CC items as well that I haven't grabbed. But yeah, I just especially love the pet food and the fact that this bone actually has its own model now as well. Sorry, that's kind of randomly shoehorned in there because nobody even has a pet, but still, while we're talking about default replacements, I thought I would mention it. So it's night time now, and as always happens with these girls, they're getting burgled. So I'm going to get them both out of bed. And now, because I want to look at this edit of Cat Ops and Pros can fight burglars, but with trait support now. So a while ago, Midgetry made a mod that allowed it so that Sims that were previously in the law enforcement career could fight burglars, and there was another flavour that made it so also Sims that were in like intelligence and military too. But then another creator has taken that a step further now and added trait support, so Sims with the brave trait as Nina has here, or the hidden can apprehend burglar trait converted from The Sims 3. So Nina has a brave trait and Dina doesn't have anything. Obviously neither of them were in that career. But if Dina clicks on him, she can't do anything, just go see him up. But Nina has the option to attack him. So let's see if she gets time to do that. Yep, she can fight him. Don't need to wait for the police. Obviously don't have an alarm. So Nina has been able to take matters into her own hands, and there we go. He's run off. He didn't get a chance to steal anything, and yeah, she successfully won that fight. So that just adds something else for Sims with certain traits to be able to do, which is pretty cool. I've just popped to visit the Frat Brothers household quickly, just to take a look at the last few mods in kind of a household. So to be honest, I've been kind of trying to find an opportunity to show you an example of this for a while. But this might be an example. So here we've got Ashley in his sophomore year, and he's a romance sim, but he wants to go to class, research for someone, write term paper and do an assignment. And I think, at least, that might be an example of something this mod is doing, or at least it's a decent segue into it. So this is a collection of want tree edits, and the one I think this might be an example of is university related wants enable for all aspirations. So I tend to find it, at least what I think this means is these kind of wants. For some aspirations, they never get it. So when you're playing wants based, certain aspirations, it can be quite difficult for them to actually pursue university because they have just no interest in it at all. So I think that's what that's doing, and I think having all these wants for a romance sim might be an example of that. The other guys actually aren't really interested in anything to do with uni right now, but they should all have at least some kind of chance of rolling these, as far as I understand. But this does quite a lot of things. So it enables a go steady want for adults and elders. Obviously you need another mod to actually make that interaction possible, but they can want it. I'd hope to have seen that with someone, but it never came up. It fixed the breakup want for teens, adults and elders, both for steady and marriage, and I tried to get it so Mary Sue would roll it. I did the, scripted Daniel cheats on her with Kaylin and she catches him, but no, she didn't roll the want to break up or break up with Daniel. To be fair, I mean, everything seems to happen when you don't want it and doesn't happen when you do want it, but her getting fired made her go into aspiration failure and her aspiration to change to grilled cheese, so I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it, but yeah, I couldn't create it there, so I've been waiting for an opportunity to show an example of this, to be honest. With this version, a new family member one is enabled for teens and children of all aspirations, so not just for teens with family aspiration. And also engagement wants and left at fear altars are enabled for all aspirations, so all aspirations can want to get engaged and fear getting left at the altar. It also adds in and there's two versions of this. One has teen woohoo and one doesn't. I tried to get Dustin to want to woohoo or woohoo with Angela, but that never came up. It also adds university career wants enabled, so the career tracks added by university, like natural science, they don't usually have a want related to them, so that enables those. And it also makes careers now roll based on interest rather than aspiration. So like Sims that are interested in animals might want to do oceanography, and your sci-fi Sims might want to do science and things like that. It's not tied to aspiration, it's more about what they're interested in, which I like because I play very heavily like interest based. In this version it's also got no talk or blog about hobby wants, so they won't roll, and hobby wants are restricted by personality. And it includes some edits I made but never got around to sharing. So this creator was active in my Discord when they were creating this mod and chatting to us about it kindly. And then I was like, oh, well, I actually made some want tree edits myself once upon a time. I can't really remember what they are, and that's why I've held off actually sharing them, because I don't really know how to explain it anymore. But I adjusted the hustle pull one because I used to find everybody rolled it so often, even toddlers that had learned their toddler skills would always want to hustle pull, so it was driving me mad. So I made a few aspirations not be able to roll it. I think maybe just family and knowledge sims won't roll it, and teens and children won't roll it either, which is obviously logical. But because we were chatting, Mate actually made a version just for me that's just in my Discord server, because I had some slightly different preferences. So it's got the steady, it's got the breakup fix, but I didn't really want this new family member one for teens, for all teens, regardless of aspiration, because I actually feel like a lot of teenagers, depending on like the personality and aspiration and things, actually wouldn't want another sibling. So I didn't like the idea of that, especially playing one space. I just didn't really want that to be a factor. That like, oh, the teenager wants a new family member. I just didn't really envision it for a lot of our teenagers, so that part isn't included in my flavour. These two aren't included. These two, but I also didn't want to disable the talk or blog about hobby ones. I actually quite like those ones. I like to interact with those, so that's not part of the version made for me. And I also requested that the go out one would be enabled for adults, for the mod by Lamar that adds it as a possibility that adults can call out another sim to go out with them, which we've looked at here before. So I think the flavour on my Discord actually enables that one as well. And there's so this was my wish list, and there's a couple of others we were speaking about that aren't on the mod page, so I assume aren't in, but maybe they were just forgotten about, because I believe like an old one of midges perhaps that did enable the go and steady also had some other effects that I didn't want, like no wants to be able to take an anti-vampire potion or fear a werewolf howl, and to disable reputation once. So I wanted to clarify that I certainly didn't want them. Again, unless I'm being blind, I actually can't see that's specifically mentioned on the mod page. So I'm not sure if they're in the one on Tumblr or not. But if you have a similar taste to me, then hop into my Discord, and because Mate kindly shared a version. I think it also touches any aspiration being able to roll the very first kiss one. So here's where you can download the file, and the original plan was to have a version with Teen Woohoo and one without, because I actually don't know what I'm going to go for the next time I get stuck into playing, so I kind of wanted to have that option. But with this version they actually kind of forgot to include the one with Teen Woohoo, I think. So a little bit further, well, that's a lot further down, they uploaded the version with the choice whether you want Teen Woohoo or not. So yeah, I encourage anyone to hop into my Discord and you'll be able to grab that file. I think I'm actually going to pin this one. Anyway, there's also another mod I wanted to look at these guys. You know, have you ever had a sim join the secret society and then found that they were able to hack grades? Most sims can't do that. That's usually what you unlock through being a secret society member. But there's a new mod that actually enables that for sims with the computer whiz trait as well. So I've given that to Caster here, and now he has the option to hack his grades on a computer, so he can come and do that. Oh, he got caught, but he wasn't able to boost it anyway. Let me give him the cleaning skill he needs. Oh, so he got a fine for trying to hack his grades there, but I have now... Oh wow, they confiscated the computer. I didn't know that could go so wrong. So I'm going to increase his logic skill now. Now let's try again. Okay, yeah, so he's looks like he's quite successfully making grades now. Oh, I guess I caught him with it for too long and it dropped back and he's got caught again. So actually that's quite difficult. But still it's cool that other Sims can have the option. I really think it would be cool if rebellious Sims could also do it. Let's look at a couple of mods in CAS now, and the first one is 2 by P Forest, and that is default replacements for the retro sunglasses, a separate one for male and females. So as you can see, these glasses are looking updated. These 3 from Bon Voyage, and then also 2 additional recolors. So you can see on the mod page, this is what they looked like before, and it's replaced them to that. To be honest, I don't mind the original ones in this case, but for the amount I actually use sunglasses anyway, it's not so much of a problem. But I do think the female ones were a much needed improvement, so let's look at those now. So they are here, and I think they were pretty goofy before. So yeah, this is what they looked like before. Really kind of look more like swimming goggles in a way, really round and goofy and kind of childlike, to be honest, in my opinion. So I think that is a really nice, much needed improvement. Although I kind of wish the male ones were just standalone editions rather than defaults personally. But I do love that these are defaults for the females. We've now got some clothing recategorizes for the athletic wear and outwear. And so what this does, it adds some of the Maxis everyday wear into this athletic wear category. That makes a lot of sense. To be honest, I think I've had an older mod that's done the same thing. But with this download, you can choose whether you want to add them additionally to this category, so you can have them still as everyday options and as athletic wear options, or you can move them so they'll no longer be everyday wear and just be athletic wear. But I think these are, you know, very logical choices for athletic wear. So I don't think there's anything new in the outerwear category for females, but I believe what it does is these ones that would also show in everyday are now just in the oh, so that makes them custom. That's a bit strange. Yeah, so now in the season section of clothes, it's only these 3 dresses. The more coat style ones have been moved away, so they don't show in here anymore. It's just strange that these outfits have been sort of added, you know, like classed as custom, moved to the front. So it might be more logical to move them instead of having them in both in this case. And if we look at men, we've got the same kind of idea, more options actually. All of these are logically athletic wear. As I said, I'm sure I already had this going on with a different mod. Again, no extra choices for seasonal wear. And again, with the athletic wear being classed as custom, and at the front here now, if you go for the ones that make them in both categories. And now it looks like there is no everyday outfits from seasons for men. They've all been just moved to be, well, just changed to be outerwear only, not everyday wear as well. We've got a fix for some Maxis meshes by Leo Mills now, and this female jumper is one of them. Perhaps the fix is more so fat morph, possibly. I think it had some weird thing going on around the shoulder, so that just neatens it up and makes it all correct. And then same for the men's boxers and vest. Underwear, that's had some improvements to it, and some of this men's swimwear as well, particularly in the fat morph, I think, have been improved. So let's look on the mod page for the before and afters. So yeah, this top for females had a strange thing going on, I think perhaps with just the fat morph. Yeah, and then with the underwear, so this is original. And then the edit seems to slim down the shoulders and also smooth the belly. And I think fixes the pattern on the boxers. So you can see that the boxes look better. But to be honest, I'm not sure about the shoulder edits here. I kind of think it looked better before, but maybe the edit is more true to like the meshing in other outfits perhaps. But I do kind of think it looked better around the shoulders before, but the dark boxes patterns definitely look better. So, and especially with the fat morph, I mean, this looked quite ridiculous. So that smooths it down a bit. But yeah, it kind of makes them look kind of skinny around the shoulders, back, and the arms. But yeah, that might be for consistency. And with the swimwear here, it seems to bring the waistline up a little bit and the collarbone down a little bit. It seemed like the collarbone was a bit strangely high before, so that fixes that. And it smooths out the pregnancy ones as well, or adds them. So yeah, selection of fixes there. By Leto Mills also, we've got some default replacements for the glasses lenses, the clear ones that make them more clear. I don't have my nice round mesh for this one we've looked at before currently. But yeah, this changes the lenses for the clear glasses to make them look actually see-through. And there's a few tiers that you can choose between. So I'll just have a look at them on women as well. Look at them nice and clear. I mean, this is a quite similar idea to one we've already looked at before by Cosmo, I think it was. But this is Leto's take on it. And as I said, I'm pretty sure you had some tiers to choose from. So this shows the original, the version 1 and the version 2. So I've got version 2 in. But if you want a median option, you could download version 1 instead if that suits you better. But yeah, so it's just a default replacement for the lenses of these 5 Maxis glasses. For something a bit different now, Lazy Duchess has released a tool that you can use to easily make your own aging mod with no knowledge of SimPE whatsoever. You don't have to open SimPE, so you can just enter the values you want on this website and then it will make the mod for you. So let's give it a go. I will try to recreate the Sims 3 style one that I made, and then I can see, you know, that it actually is the same. I don't know why it's like gone down. Okay, I refreshed it. Okay, so for the aging hour, you can set that to midnight, I believe, if I just put 0, which is why I had it going on. For baby, I can make 3 days. Toddler, 5 days. I'll leave those as they are. I believe I made adults. I'm actually kind of guessing. Let me get it up. So here is my usual aging mod. So yeah, I was right, 42 days. So I will try to recreate that. I don't think I actually went into detail about the range for elders. So if I make that always 42 for adults. Now for elders, so I know my minimum is 16, but I'll have to look at my maximum. So I've just opened up my mod in SimPE and I've just remembered the quirk it has, that it's actually, you enter 1 day less than what it actually is. So 41 is 42, 15 is 16, and so on. I think because 0 counts as the first number in SimPE. So I wonder how the website accounts for that. So my elder max says 25, so that's 26. So it's 16 to 26. So I'll put it as that. Did I do plant sims or did I just ignore them? Yeah, I think I handled those two. Does it say anywhere that you should? No, I think you should put in what you actually want it to be. For the aspiration bonuses, what did I have going on? Goal 10, 7, 3, 0. Yeah, so I think that's just default. Oh, that's -5. Did I change that? Okay, so I'll go with that and I will build the mod. And there we go. We've got a package. So let's open this and compare. Okay, so the first little issue I can see is that even though I have changed the process hour, which means they will age up at midnight instead, which has worked, really you also want to edit this if you want to do that as well, because this somewhere mentions aging up at 6 p.m. Oh yeah, right at the top. So it says the sim will grow up in just 1 day at, change it to 12 a.m. Usually it would say 6 p.m. So just for consistency, really, when you when you edit the time Sims age up, really you'd want the little pop-up to say the correct time, but that's just a small thing really. Now let's look at the tuning. Okay, no, it doesn't seem to actually take into account the 1 day less thing. So what I've put in is the literal values. So in game, this will actually translate to 8 days, whereas mine is truly 7 days. So, but I mean, you have to keep that in mind when you're building a mod in SimP8. So all you need to do is keep that in mind if you're using this, and just enter 1 day less than you actually want it to be. Be good if it, had a note, but I will double check that and I guess show you in game in a moment. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you actually want to enter 1 day less than you actually want it to be, because otherwise this is going to be one more than I intended. So this 3 will be 4, 5 will be 6, and so on. The elder bonuses worked. I heard my plant elders actually living longer than normal elders. I didn't realise that. Not that I ever use plant sims. But yeah, so I will put that in my game with her Lazy Duchess's Smart Age Correct. Good if it also linked to that on here. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm in game now and I've got the pop-up that age check has checked and repaired everyone in Pleasant View. And it's kind of hard to tell when they're not at the beginning of the life stage, but as we can see, Bo here, for example, he says he'll become a child in 3 days, but he's halfway through his toddler phase, so that means it's 6 days, right? And my intention was it to be 5 days. So when you write 5, you're actually getting 6. Maybe if I age him up into a child. So there we go. Child becomes a teenager in 8 days. Whereas for children, I wrote 7. So yeah, so whatever your number you write, you're getting 1 day more. So you just need to bear that in mind, otherwise it's a great tool. And if you change the process armor, you just need to bear in mind that that pop-up will still say 6 p.m. But yeah, I think that is a really great accessible way for people that are scared of SimPA, don't know anything about it, don't want to open it. You can still make the aging mod that you feel is right for your gameplay. So yeah, that's a great option to have out there, and just a really cool concept that a website can literally build a Sims 2 package file. So like, just think of the potential. Lazy Duchess is always like cooking up something cool, so maybe more stuff like that will come out that might be, perhaps more complicated processes, which is really exciting. Now let's just whiz through a couple of mod pages for mods that I couldn't really show you in game or didn't want to install into my game's installation files. Or that, there's really not that much to say to them. The picture or the title does them justice. So this is just a quick loading screen replacement. So if you want it to say household, even in the main HUD like it does in the university HUD, you can do that. So instead of saying family, it will say household. So if you prefer that, grab at that. We've also got some custom loading screens, which are really cool. So if this is your style, then grab those. They're really funky and colourful. We've also got some other loading screens that's like more, I think, cyberpunk, I think they're called, which changes the, loading UI a little bit. So if that's your style and taste, grab those. We've got a font default replacement for the UI. So if you want a more, straight font rather than the very rounded font, you can change all the UI. Is this how it always is, and it just makes that font all over, perhaps? Yes, so it is a font that is already used in the game, but it just makes it everywhere. So if you prefer that style, then that'll be right for you. I'm not sure about compatibility with UI mods like the clean UI there. Next is a couple of mods just for the Legacy collection. So this is an extender. So this is sort of like baby step towards RPC for Legacy Collection as far as I'm understanding. So it gives you borderless full screen, you can skip the intro videos, it gives you the first one's fix, which is actually a fix for randomness in general, and some modders resource and stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of them, I highly recommend the automatic randomness fix. That's really important, and I love playing in borderless, and I think it's actually better for your game's kind of performance and stability, or at least it was on Ultimate Collection. So yeah, I think that's a great improvement. So grab that if you're a Legacy Collection user. To be honest, I'm kind of just holding out for an RPC release for the Legacy Collection, and then I'd probably actually make the switch from Ultimate Collection. It sounds like it's been patched a lot and improved a lot since the absolute mess it was when it came out. So if you've played on Ultimate Collection and have switched to Legacy Collection, please let me know about your experience. Has the stability, performance, pink flashing, all that got any better for you? Because if it is actually more stable now than with RPC, then yeah, I think I'd make the switch too. Lazy Duchess also made an audio quality fix, because at least when the Legacy Collection released, the audio quality was terrible, not like it's supposed to be at all, not like it was in the Ultimate Collection. I'm not sure if EA themselves have actually already patched this now, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if even if they have, Lazy Duchess has done a better job here. So by all means test it out, or if you think the audio quality could still use some work, definitely grab Lazy Duchess's fix. You can now also have Body Shop for Legacy Collection. There is now an installer that will install you Body Shop for the Legacy Collection, which is really exciting. I'm not sure if you'd be able to use the Body Shop Clean UI with this. Yeah, that's really exciting. No more missing out. I think basically everything that was missing in the Legacy Collection has been community restored. You know, you can download the IKEA stuff pack, the missing music files, and now Body Shop as well. So I'm pretty sure with a bit of downloading, you can have the full package now with Legacy Collection, like I said, other than RPC. So yeah, I feel like you really don't have to miss out anymore here. But it's funny though, isn't it? Because I think a draw for some people is that Legacy Collection is like easier to install and get up and running than the Ultimate Collection, but as far as I can see it, you've just got a different toolbox of things you need to do. So like the steps for Ultimate Collection are just different, whereas Legacy Collection, right, I've got to install Body Shop, I've got to install IKEA, I've got to install the missing music files and not all these specific fixes. So really it's just another toolbox of fixes to get it the game it should be, in my opinion. But still, if it's an improvement and has made it available to people that didn't have it before, then that's fantastic. We've got a compatibility mashup here by Matty, which is To Jeff's School Bring Friend dialogue compatible with Fano's School Vacation. I've never used Fano's School Vacation, but I think it had a text conflict, perhaps, so that just makes them work nicely together and you can have both working well in your game. Similarly, they've also made Monique's Bring Home Friend dialogue compatible with Lazy Duchess's job rejection, which I think is something I had dabbling going on in my game. I'm not sure if this is the AL updated version of it or not, because there was an extra one. Yeah, I think I asked the author and they think it was. So yeah, that's another thing, you can have the best of both. I think in my game I actually had more conflicts with Bring Home Friend dialogue. So hopefully I'll release my own compatibility patch mashup options eventually. But yeah, if you're using both of these mods and they're your only conflicts between them, then definitely grab this one. We now have a set of bug related mods. So we've got a new full-time and part-time career, a university major, and more. So bugs are a lifestyle, not a hobby. There's also some greeting cards. If you use the greeting card mods, there's now some bug themed covers. Under the friendship option, you can get bug cards. So you've got Bug Scouts, which is a part-time career for teenagers with their own trans cards. You've got an entomology major for bug studying and an entomology career. And this is more like an idea, like a suggestion to implement into your game, like a gameplay system suggestion, and also the greeting cards and some suggested bug related mods. So yeah, if you want to up your bug game, then have a look at this. You can download each thing separately, so you don't have to have them all. If you just want the greeting cards or you just want the full-time career, you can do that. Next, we have a load of mods by the same author. I believe we did look at one of them in game at least. But this is a fix for the oceanography career. So I believe this fixes chance cards, makes some here like this supposed to that didn't before, and also some coding wrong. So instead of Sims just getting 20 simoleons, instead they actually get the 20,000 it says and intends for. So yeah, it just fixes the chance cards in the oceanography career. There's also a fix for the natural science career, which adds some chance cards to levels that didn't have them and takes Sims lore into account. I do wish, you could read the chance cards so you could have an idea of what they're like. But yeah, you can test it out or open it up in SimPE, I guess, to have a look. And then this tweaks the part-time education career to be at a different time, because the problem is in the vanilla game it's only teenagers that can have part-time jobs, but there is a mod that teenagers and elders, isn't it? Yeah, there is a mod that enables adults to have part-time jobs, but because they're supposed to work with the teenagers' schedule, they're all set after school, which can actually be quite restrictive to single parents and things. So the idea here is if you have the education part-time career, it'd be more realistic to be in the morning anyway, and that just gives adults a chance to work while the children are at school and things. So now these part-time jobs will be in the morning instead of the afternoon, which makes complete sense actually, because I mean school finishes at 3, so why it would be later than that makes no sense. So this is fantastic actually. This Sim has been working really hard with traits mods at the moment, and this one just makes it so that Sims with the disliked children trait won't autonomously read to the children if they have them, which makes sense. This one stops loners from rolling the wants to be friends with the Sims, and I really like this one. This makes it so that either only Sims with the adventurous trait are the ones that are allowed to roll wants to go on vacation of any type, or there's another version which I prefer, which is either Sims with the adventurous trait or has 6 or more interest points in travel, which I think makes sense. I might consider lowering that and make it so as long as they just don't hate travel, so maybe even 4 or more. But I absolutely love the idea of more logic related to interest, because I really heavily take interest into account in my gameplay, so I love to see more support for interest, and I think that makes a lot of sense. If you're not interested in travel and you're not adventurous, do you really want to go on vacation? So yeah, love this. This one makes evil and mean-spirited Sims so they won't roll wants to stop being enemies. Evil and mean-spirited Sims won't roll fears of making enemies, and only evil Sims will roll the drink Sim from Cowplant one. Because that is actually quite dark. That's just Sim suggesting that they want that Sim deceased so they can, drink their essence. So that is quite an evil thing to want, so that restricts it to only evil Sims, which I think is fair enough. And mean-spirited won't roll fears of having a bad conversation, which makes sense. Then we've got this one that applies the commitment issues to apply to things beyond relationships. So Sims with the commitment issues trait might actually want to quit the job, so they're not committed to the job. Same as Sims with low performance, which I like that as well. If the Sim's not doing well, they might want to quit. And certain Sims will rather want to stay home from work if they have the neurotic trait, couch potato trait, or the commitment issues trait. And otherwise, their active personality is less than 5. I always find that pleasure Sims roll that one a lot, so hopefully that logic's still there. I imagine it is, because that logic is in the want trees, whereas this is in the test we have, so it should still be more often than not it's pleasure Sims. Not sure. Next is mod I will hope to test, but I don't think the download link is currently working. No. So it looks like it's been taken down. Perhaps it's a little bug, but this modder is always working on the mods, so they'll probably re-release it. So I still wanted to mention it so you can keep an eye. But this is homework for teens and children made better. Do you want more variability with homework and school performance? So I think this is sort of an expansion on the idea of this other mod by Little Baby Dill Jr., which is homework sometimes. So it's sort of Sims bringing homework every single day. But the problem is, it would make Sims with like the absent-minded and perfectionist, unlucky, and rebellious have more homework and therefore more opportunity to improve the grade. But Sims with the bookworm, genius, lucky, disciplined, and workaholic would bring less homework and therefore not have the opportunity to increase their grade. Which doesn't make sense because the idea is that geniuses, bookworms, and all that are already doing their homework in class, or on the bus ride home, or just they're not being given homework because they need to improve like some of the other Sims. So this mod fixes it. So Sims will still get a grade performance even if they've not got homework, and that means Sims that don't bring homework will still be able to get their grade improvement. And then I did try to test this one, but I was not really being able to recreate it or just getting an error. But maybe that's my problem, or maybe it'll get an update. But this is neurotic reactions. It's supposed to make neurotic Sims react to clogged toilets and broken dishwasher, which I think was existing vanilla code, but no Sims actually did that. So the neurotic Sims are supposed to cry and be annoyed and freak out when toilets get clogged or dishwashers break, and it also makes supposed to make Sims with the absent-minded, childish, unlucky, or clumsy trait run different random chances to break toilet, so they're more likely to break it. The neurotic will lose a significant amount of comfort, but only do the crying or freaking out if their mood is relatively low. I see. I bet I was testing it with a Sim that didn't have a low mood. I don't see why they have to be in a low mood already. I think it could still annoy you any way. But yeah, I think that was probably my oversight there. I'm not sure why I got the error though. And then absent-minders also have the added effect of being the only ones to actually flush the toilet if it's already clogged. Next, we've got a fix for these little pot plants from IKEA by Nopke. So before they had this very strange haze partial transparency thing going on, and that just fixes that. And also like the mesh of it, the shake of it was a bit janky, so that just smooths that, makes it a lot more realistic and polished. So that's brilliant because they're really cute pop plants, but yeah, that's a much needed improvement from Nopke. So that's brilliant. We have some fixes for these Bon Voyage wall lamps by Pineapple Forest, so that the shades actually light up. So before, when the light was on, you could only see like, the light behind it and above it and stuff, but now the shade will actually look like it's transparent and letting the light through it, which is fantastic. We now have some alien face templates by Atom Tanned. So now your alien infants can have different faces and look different. Next, we've got a season length mod that makes it like they are in The Sims 4. So there's 3 flavors, 7 days, which I was already using as a different mod, 14 days and 28 days. So you can choose which one you want and have longer seasons. And complementary to that is an aging mod, which makes it so that the Sims lifespans are the same as the long lifespans in The Sims 4. So as you can see, adults for 168 days, which is really long, and this is a very long lifespan. And to be honest, I feel like you'd need some other kind of balancing mods for that, otherwise they will reach platinum lifetime aspiration when they're like a teenager, a child actually, probably. I do think that is kind of an issue in the kind of Sims 2 modding community. There's a lot of lifespan mods, but not much information or corresponding mods that balance the game around that. So lifespan mods can easily kind of throw out the balance of the game if you don't have mods that make skilling slower, lifetime aspiration gain slower, and things like that. So I don't know. I think that's an important thing to consider when downloading, or now with Lazy Gestures tool easily making an aging mod. You don't want to go too long without considering the balance. But I do admit that the Sims 2 default lifespan, particularly at the adult stage, is too short. But yeah, it's just important to bear in mind. I do have some suggestions on my mod page, but still I think that could be expanded. And I've been back and forth with a few different lifetime aspiration mods, and a lot of them aren't compatible with each other. So actually I don't think I could ever use all of the ones I'd actually like to use. So maybe that's a project for me one day. But yeah, I'm rambling. To be honest, a lot of lifespan mods always get released, and I tend to ignore them because there's a lot and it's so just personal and they're so easy to make that these past, well, I've already done a whole year of these videos and I don't even think I've mentioned a lifespan mod before. I tend to just overlook them, but since this one's specifically related to the season length one, I thought I'd mention it, and then I ended up jotting down all the other ones I found as well. But yeah, just bear that in mind. I tend to actually not even mention these. But we've now got a 2 days equals 1 year lifespan, which is actually something I've rattled around in my brain before of building a lifespan around this concept. I think I'd do it slightly differently to what this is, but this is somewhat fair and balanced, I think, actually. A day is 6 months essentially in a Sims lifespan, and I like that logic. I'm just not, maybe I'd like break up the ages a bit differently. Like 6 sounds a bit old for a toddler for me, so I probably wouldn't have that as long and things like that if I played around with this idea. But yeah, I think that's an interesting one. I think it actually makes the pet lifespan shorter, which is sad, because personally I think it's a bit too limiting. Like, I've had cats that have lived longer than 18 years, so I don't think that should be the upper limit, personally. And like, cats actually usually live longer than dogs, so I don't think it makes any sense that the cats have a lower maximum than dogs, because cats live longer than dogs generally. It includes a pregnancy span, which is good. So yeah, you just gotta see if you find the right lifespan mod for you, or make your own. And Mate has made a crazy one, which is 16 days is 1 year. So this is a very, very long lifespan. So if you want your adults around for 752 days, then there you go. But yes, like I said, do expect like permanent lifetime aspiration in like toddlerhood. So yeah. We've also got now shorter elder lifespans, which I guess is if you want to actually stick with the Maxis lifespans but just make elders live less time. There's 2 options here. It reduces, I think, actually just the bonuses you get from aspiration. So instead of getting plus 10 days for being in platinum aspiration, you'll get 7 and things like that. And lastly, we've got Plant Man gains water more often. I don't really use Plant Sims, so I don't thoroughly understand this one, to be honest. But Plant Sims gain water in smaller increments every second, proportional to the intensity of rain. Heavy rain will add a similar amount to vanilla, light rain will add less, and snow will add a little. Sunlight is gained the same as before, once per 9 seconds, including existing quirks, as the calculations are more complicated and the steps are not as noticeable. Plant Sims will get new ones at a random minute between 7 and 8 hours. Plant Sims will not reapply their special outfit and lose the portrait when arriving on other lots, but may continue to gain water on sunlight. Like I said, I'm not really playing with sunlight, so I don't really understand any of that, but if you think that sounds like a logical fix, then definitely snap that up. And that is everything I have for you. Finally, I think this must be the longest episode yet. 2025 is off to a great start for the Sims 2 modding community. It is in full force. I think we've got a little bit of a renaissance going on with the Legacy Collection, bringing more attention to the game, which is fantastic to see. But yeah, thank you very much. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you did. This, like I said, this will continue as episodes going on through the year. So we'll take a look at the next quarter at the end of June or early July. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, join my Discord to stay in touch. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.